welcome to The Lady Killers, a Feminine Rage podcast. Hello, and welcome to The Lady Killers, a Feminine Rage podcast. I am your host, Jennifer's Body Adams, and can I just talk frankly with you? My boyfriend wants to take me on this fabulous dream date, but I think I'm not letting myself be happy about it because I'm repressing this feeling that he won't say I love you.
But he did on AIM, so
he did on
but that
AIM,
doesn't count.
which totally doesn't count. No, it does not count. And the person I'm talking to is slowly losing the will to live. And if you can't tell by that delightful exchange, today we are watching Ty West's The Innkeepers. Woo! The sound of the door
Slam.
creaking, close, and then slamming. Yes. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by a fabulous panel of Lady Killer experts and a special guest, co-host of the Losers Club and the Keep It Weird podcast, returning champion Ashley Casseday. Welcome back.
Thank you for coming
What's
back.
Hey, Lady Killers. Ready to kill some ladies.
So yes, exactly. I didn't hear it. Allegedly, right?
Allegedly. That's what I heard.
I'm just gonna have to put that in the subtext of every single episode. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Until charged.
Hashtag allegedly.
Innocent
Yeah.
until proven guilty.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Also, double jeopardy. So
Yeah.
Sorry.
Madeline O'Malley can't be charged twice for the same crime.
She cannot be charged twice. Okay, I have a question today, and I feel like, Ashley, your answer might be significantly different than Sammy and I's. Say hello and tell us, would you or have you ever gone ghost hunting?
Hello, many times. Many times.
That's why I added the have you.
I've investigated private homes. I investigated the Queen Mary in Long Beach. The Biltmore Hotel in downtown LA, which was the last place that Elizabeth Short was seen, the Black Dahlia.
Ooh.
The Culver Hotel, the Limp Mansion in St. Louis, all over.
Wow.
I've had a
Wow.
different experience each and every time I've done it. But one thing I will say that I love about this movie that I actually am sure a lot of people would watch and say is too boring or too slow, but ghost hunting is literally sitting in the dark quietly for fucking hours. It's so boring. You have no idea how boring it is. And when you're scared and you're like, your senses are heightened, I swear to you, time slows down. So it's long nights and then longer days of editing because especially when you have a team as small as me and Lauren, like Keep It Weird is 2 people. It's me and Lauren and I do the editing. So then you have to re-listen to 8+ hours of audio, watch 8+ hours of video just to catch one tiny, weird little thing that happens the whole time. And it's like, that's the thing. It's a nightmare. Big props to people who do this for a living that aren't like Zach Baggins.
Yeah.
That don't have a massive team that can
Or like the guys
each
that
take
Ghost
30
Files.
minutes to watch.
Like,
Ghost Hunters, Ghost Files, like it's a nightmare. It's really boring, but I love it.
Okay, well, tell us 2 things. One, where can they listen to this and find your ghost hunting adventures? And also, what's the coolest thing you've ever captured?
Oh my God. Okay, so all of our shows, the videos are on youtube.com/Keep It Weird podcast, and you can listen to the podcast anywhere that you listen to podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, etc. Gosh, the weirdest thing that's ever happened. One time, yeah, it had to have been at the Limp Mansion. The Limp Mansion was so insane. There were rooms that like we physically like couldn't go into because it felt like something. Okay, so like we weren't hearing anything or seeing anything. Our devices were going off. Our EMF readers were going crazy, but like there was nothing there, but it felt like someone was standing in front of me screaming at me to go away. Like it felt like I was being shouted at. And we ended up, there's literal audio of us like running through the halls. But my favorite part of that investigation, so we had these things. Do you know what dowsing rods are?
The ones that go like they intertwine and they move.
Like you hold them. They seek water. They're like made of
Yes,
copper
that's what
or
I know.
some shit. But you can use them on investigations. They're very sensitive. They will move on their own. And there was a really interesting moment where in the service stairway of the Limp Mansion, our EMF would go off constantly, but it would go off and then stop and then go off and then stop. And we thought that was interesting. I got out the dowsing rods and I just held them, and they would seriously like sway
Ugh.
and then sway. And what I realized was that servant hallway, the servant stairs, was a place where people were just constantly going upstairs, going downstairs, going upstairs, going downstairs, going upstairs, and that energy was just still there.
Ugh.
It was just
Like
still
someone yelling corner, like in like a
flowing. Yeah,
restaurant.
corner. Yeah, it was basically the bear. But that energy was just still there, just like
Oh,
flowing up the stairs
wow.
and down the stairs. It was so fascinating.
That is
I could
so
never, because we
cool.
tried in one of the ghost hunts we did in Chicago, we used those, and I have such shaky hands that I was like, I'm not the person for this, because I don't know if it's
Don't
just
make me hold
my
these.
like my shaky hands, or it's actually a ghost out here in this baseball field.
Well, and I know we'll talk about, well, first of all, let's introduce, I want to hear your answer.
Yes,
and
Sammy,
then
tell
we'll
us.
talk more.
It sounds like you have gone.
Yeah,
ghost
so
hunting.
this is Sammy. I don't know a lot, but I do know a little bit about a lot of things, Kuykendall. And I have. I, too, also did the Queen Mary here in Long Beach. That was one of my favorites because that's one of my favorite Unsolved
just so
Mysteries
cool.
episodes is about that. And we asked our tour guide to take us to the elevator, or it's an escalator, where the Unsolved Mysteries like episode filmed, and like Mike left me in the group and went back to the escalator by himself, and then like he disappeared for 20 minutes and came back, and he was like sweating, and he was like, I was back there by myself and it was so scary, but I hated that he left me. And then you get to see like the big propeller and the thing, which just that itself really creeped me out. I have like
Eerie.
weird like underwater stuff really gives me the creeps.
Isn't that called like thalassophobia or something?
Yes, it's or lassophobia, I think maybe. It just seeing
Lassophobia,
any
yeah.
like especially any animatronics or big things in water just really gross me out. It just it gives me like the willies. But I have done one in Chicago, which was really fun. And then I've done two in Wisconsin. But the one in Milwaukee, I was pretty intoxicated during, and the ghost tour episode of I Think You Should Leave had just come out. So I quoted the
cursing all over the place.
entire episode for the whole tour. Just kept like exclaiming like, we can say whatever the hell we want because we chose the late night tour. And then I'd be like, any of these fuckers ever pop out of the fucking wall? And so that is my formal apology to the tour guide. That
And all the people on
yes.
the tour.
Oh, I can only like
right.
Mike was just like, shut the fuck up. And yeah, but I wasn't, I didn't want anyone to have the worst day at their job or nothing, but I thought it was
You
a
just wanted to know
hoot.
if anybody blew a massive load all over this table, right?
Exactly. I thought it was funny. Okay. But now with hindsight, I feel really bad. But no, I've never seen anything myself. I've talked a lot about my grandma's house, and I had a lot of stories that happened there. My dad had an experience. My sisters had experiences, but never to me. But I was always really fucking scared of that house, so I get it. But I wish, man, I'm hoping. I want something to happen, but I'm also like a little baby about it too, or I know I wouldn't want to stick around if something did happen.
I've seen ghosts pretty much my whole life. I don't see them like all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who's like, I see them all the
You're
time.
not the Sixth
walking
Sense.
around. No.
There's like three behind
But
us
I've had
at our
I
respective
have an
homes.
experience a year, I'd say, and I've been on
Oh,
this
wow.
earth 37 years, so that's about 37.
Yeah.
But your beliefs change so often, especially when you like study this stuff, because I remember 10 years ago when I first started dating the man who's now my husband, he was literally nervous to move in with me because he was like, am I gonna start seeing like ghosts and shit now? And I was
Oh,
like, that's
shit.
not how it works.
Like, you can
I
pass
think
it to
you're either,
someone?
like, yeah, I was like, I think you're either born with it or you're not, and you either have the ability or you don't. And he was like, okay. And he moved in, and I'm not kidding. Like 3 months after moving in, I came home from work, and he's like, well, I saw your freaking grandpa today.
Ugh.
I was like, oh, so they are just around
That's
me.
crazy. So you are a little
Wow.
beacon. Like,
I'm a little light. I don't hide
but
my
at least
hide
it's
my
good
light under a
ghosts,
bushel.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
usually.
Paranorman. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen
Yeah.
Paranorman, but like,
Totally.
yeah, all of his family, his family hangs around him still. And honestly, I don't think I would like that. Like, anytime, Like imagine like when you go, if you went to like masturbate or something and then your family is there around you. Would not
Seriously.
like that, I don't think. But at least the sentiment is
I like
nice.
to think,
Yeah. I like to think that my grandma wouldn't want to watch me masturbate. But
Yeah,
who knows?
would walk out.
me as a ghost, no. I think I would not want to creep on people while they're
Like, do
jerking
they
off.
have decency? Do they like know when you need some privacy? I wonder. Like, do they like like if you go into the bathroom, do they leave? Like, I wonder what the
It depends,
Yeah.
because when I die and I'm a ghost, I'm not giving you any privacy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch all your dirty deeds.
Until we get bored, I think. Eventually I'll be like, oh, look, they're jerking it
again.
Oh, jerking it
God.
again.
What are they watching on TV, though? You know. I have never been ghost hunting. I think I have recently changed how I feel about this because I spent a huge chunk of my life, in hindsight, confusing ghosts with demons. Like, I was very scared. I was like, they are out to get me. I don't want to know anything
you
about
grew up
this.
in a religious household too, so I'm sure that
I did grow up in a
influenced
religious
that.
household, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I have told many people, if you see anything around me, I don't want to know. If you see anything in my house, don't tell me. Ignorance is bliss. I don't want to know. And I've had some friends who freaked me out about that, who would try to like mess with me. So for a long time, I wouldn't watch paranormal shows
Yeah.
because I was like, the ghosts are going to know I'm watching it.
It's
What
a
are you, Candace
portal.
Cameron?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a portal.
Seriously. I know. Well, and now I'm like, now I think about ghosts as just dead people.
Yeah.
You know? And like
Energy.
they're
That's what I look-
exactly.
yeah.
And like I wonder if it has to do with me kind of thinking about my own mortality too. I'm like, I want to believe that I will kind of like the whole heaven and hell thing doesn't really work for me anymore. But like, I like the idea of essentially what she's saying in this movie, like transcending into a different form of energy. And I think while there might be scary ghosts, there also are ghosts that are just fine, that are just like hanging out, you know? And I talk about this podcast all the time, but it's Ghosts in the Burbs. I love it so much. It's like fun, slightly creepy, but she talks a lot about ghosts, and that I think is what kind of turned me around. It's a fictional podcast, but
I spent
you
a
know.
lot of
So
time after
anyways.
my dad died, just like going, like almost challenging him. Like I'd be like, "Show me,
Oh,
me,
like,
move this."
personal
Yeah,
shopper
Like I was
kinda
very
thing?
like I would talk to him a lot and do that thing of like, "Move
Yeah.
this curtain if you're here." Like, but I
Turn
mean,
this light off.
nothing ever happened, obviously. But you do find yourself kind of like asking them to present themselves, especially when you've lost a loved one. Of like, are you gonna? Is this gonna be? Because like I'm actually wearing my X-Files shirt today because those are my favorite ghost hunters.
Ooh,
But there's an episode where Scully's dad dies, and it's somewhere beyond the sea.
Beyond the
Yes,
Sea.
yeah, it's with Brad Dourif's in that episode.
my
It's an
favorite
incredible
episode.
episode. After my dad died, it was very hard hitting because that was our show together.
Yeah.
But like Mike and I, like Mike was like genuinely like worried the like couple of days after he was we like thought maybe he would show up, you know, if he was looking for him like that, and we both like cited that episode as the reason why we thought that. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
you want it so bad, I think, and when you want it so bad, that's when they're like, I'm not coming up. I'm not showing myself to you.
yeah. It's gonna be when you don't expect
Yes.
it, when you
Just
kind
like
of
Claire
forgotten.
says in
Yeah.
this movie.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think last time we went to South Carolina, we went to the USS Yorktown, which is like a battleship.
Oh,
with,
there's
like,
always
some
energy
dude
there.
got cut in
Yeah.
half there. Exactly. Yeah. There was a bunch of freaky shit that happened there. And I was like specifically like saying, okay, I open myself up if you want to contact me. I got a Ouija board through some kind of like promotional thing. I was always
Didn't even
terrified of
buy
Ouija
it
boards.
yourself.
Also, I didn't even buy it myself. But I was also thinking like, because you know they say that thing about tarot cards, like you're supposed to be gifted your first deck, which
Right.
I've got, for the records, I have some issues with because I never would have gotten one. You know,
You gifted me mine.
I did gift you yours.
I did it
Everyone
right. We
in
did it right.
California, we're gonna do it.
I think
know.
that there is a special magic in a gifted tarot card deck, but I also think it's bullshit that you have to be gifted one. You
that
can
you
totally
have to. Well,
buy
I mean,
a
I
deck.
think I gifted it to myself.
Yeah,
you know?
loophole.
You can gift things to yourself.
I give things to myself
But
on
I-
a regular basis.
Just order them on Amazon, have a gift wrap.
Yes.
Exactly.
Put a
Well,
note.
and I heard about it on a podcast, and I was like, "Well, she gifted
She
it.
gifted
to
you
me,
the idea.
know?
That's a gift in
Even-
itself.
But somebody,
gift.
so I got this free Ouija board, and I was like, should I have not done it yet? am still a little bit too chicken.
I've
to
done
do
them,
it,
but never in
do
like
it,
a really like at parties and stuff. So it never feels like intense. Everyone's drinking and laughing.
If I can tell you something that will make you feel a little bit better about Ouija boards.
Oh, okay.
Ouija boards, crystal pendulums as well, which we see in this movie, The Innkeepers,
Oh,
which we will
I've got one in my
eventually talk about.
hand.
And dowsing rods even. So the idea behind them is not necessarily that an entity is also moving the planchette. The idea behind them is that with your energy combined through you as the vessel, you will intuitively move the planchette to spell the
So
words.
it is you moving it, but it's someone
It
through
is you moving it. So
Okay.
when someone's like, "You're moving it," it's like,
Well, yeah.
yes, someone has to move it.
Yeah. Because ghosts don't have
because
muscles anymore.
Ghosts don't have
you know?
muscles, so it's when you combine your
science,
powers
by the way.
together and sort of like clear your mind, and you'll notice that it starts drifting, and just see what it spells, because it almost feels like you're all working together in a weird way. It's really fascinating when you do it. It's a really fascinating study, and if people understood, same with the crystal pendulum, you are moving it. It's the pulses in your fingers that move this crystal pendulum. The idea is that you are the vessel. You are the medium that is producing the energy to move this thing. Now, where that energy is coming from, that's the question. Is it coming solely from you? Is it your mind activating it? Or is something working through you to give you a message?
And it might just be for you, too, not everyone else, because no one will believe you, but at least you know what you saw and felt.
Exactly.
Right. And that's what I believe about tarot cards, is that it's not like, I don't look at it as predicting the future. I look at it as trying to reveal something from inside me that some outside force is helping me see something in myself.
It's a great way to look at situations in different lights that you maybe didn't look at them in that way before. And it gives you like totally new insights. It's a really great tool.
Horoscope is a lot like that too.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, not that it's confirmation bias, but like you can see it and relate it to your situation. And I think that's what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
You guys, did we just start a coven?
I think
You know what?
honestly,
Yeah.
I've been looking for one.
Forget the innkeepers. We are busy.
Exactly. Well, speaking of the Innkeepers, let's talk about this movie. Although I was just thinking, Ashley, you are the perfect
Oh,
person
I know.
to talk
When
about
we
this
were
movie
watching
with
it, Mike
us.
was like, "Who's the guest for this?" And I was like, "Ashley." And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds about right. Like that checks out." Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about this movie.
Yes, I'm so excited. All right, let's talk about it in our first category, her story.
I am so much happier now that I'm dead. Technically missing. Soon to be presumed dead. Gone. And my lazy, lying, cheating, oblivious husband will go to prison for my murder.
And this is a section where we tell the story of the film. Spoilers abound, so listen to your own risk. The Yankee Peddler Inn was once a prestigious hotel, but it's now just days away from shutting down. In fact, it's only got 2 employees, Claire and Luke, who mostly just plan to hang out in the lobby over the long weekend. Luke runs a website dedicated to haunted activity in the inn, specifically the ghost of Madeline O'Malley, who hanged herself in one of the rooms. Luke's seen her spirit a few times, sure. And the 2 innkeepers plan to do some amateur ghost hunting now that the hotel's mostly cleared out. That's not to say there are no guests. A mother is staying there with her son while trying to punish her shitty husband. And Leanne is a famous former actress in town for a convention. Claire is taking out the trash when she sees Leanne staring at her from the window. Then she hears strange noises coming from the basement, which turn out to be a bird, but she padlocks the door. While ghost hunting alone, Claire hears voices and strange sounds, then sees someone playing 2 notes on the piano. Okay, I don't know why I cannot get this out of my mind, but she plays C and B, like low C and B, and I was like, well, she's intentionally trying to scare you because that's not going to sound good. Anyways, that's my
It's
nerdy
also
piano
the
shit.
exact scene from The Changeling, which I watch all of the time because Mike falls asleep to it on a
right.
regular basis. So,
Dude, I love a ghost that plays piano. Maybe that's what I'll do when I'm dead, is I'll just wander around.
we love a musically inclined ghost.
Changeling.
Yeah.
The others.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
innkeepers. Play that piano, Ghost.
All of them have the.
I'm sure there's probably more
in the
too.
title.
Yeah.
Yeah, listeners, if you can think of other piano playing ghosts, let us know.
Yeah, please.
The Hatbox
Patrick
Ghost
Swayze.
from Haunted Mansion.
The Haunting remake from 1999.
Which is actually
That's
really
right.
fun
Oh.
and has a roller coaster.
Insidious also
Yes.
Insidious.
The list goes on and on.
plays their special song.
love
Yeah.
Pianos.
We do. We love piano
It's
ghosts.
a good move. Yeah. While freaking out about this, rightly, she runs into Leanne, who turns out to be a medium. Leanne uses a pendulum to contact the spirits in the hotel and finds out that there are 3 of them and that they want to live. There was also a terrible tragedy in the hotel, and Claire should definitely not go into the basement. And she even says mustn't, which I love. Meanwhile, an old man checks into the hotel, insisting on staying in room 353. It's where he spent his honeymoon, and he's feeling a bit nostalgic.
Because when I'm nostalgic, I slit my wrists in the bathtub. God.
And man, I hear that in the Rent song before slitting your wrists in the bathroom. Sorry, that's
I wish this
probably
was a Rent
horrifically
crossover.
insensitive.
I know. Hey,
I
these
love
are
Rent.
fake people, okay?
Rent. Exactly. We're not gonna pay rent. Okay, sorry. Later, Claire wakes up to find Madeline right next to her in bed. Oh my God. She freaks the fuck out and runs downstairs without pants on, prompting the grumpy mother to leave with her son.
Good riddance.
Peace out.
I know. Claire and Luke get drunk and decide to explore the basement. But when they actually start to see and hear Madeline, Luke bolts. He's been lying about seeing her in the hotel, and he is too scared to stay. Claire wakes Leanne up by just walking into her room, which is a little weird.
I know.
It was
It's so creepy. Yeah.
Problematic.
That
Problematic.
feels like a line crossed, yeah. But they go down into the basement for a moment, but whatever Leanne sees tells her they need to get the fuck out. Claire starts gathering her stuff, then remembers the old guy upstairs. She runs to his room, but finds him dead in the bathtub. She also sees Madeline's spirit hanging outside the bathroom. I think it's in the same room.
I think so too.
I think so
Yeah.
too. The honeymoon
Yes.
suite.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she
yeah.
opens a door on the side, almost like a linen closet
And then
or
there's-
something. It's very close to it. And honestly, it lingers a little too long on it, but it is a really good jump scare, I think. There was quite a few that got me.
There were a couple.
Yeah.
Exactly. She bolts out of the room, but runs into Luke, who tells her he just has to tell her something right now. So sit right here in the lobby and wait. But Claire hears noises in the basement and goes to check them out. The old man appears behind her and she falls down the stairs. Madeline also appears and creeps closer while Claire scrambles to open the very door she padlocked earlier. Cut to the next morning when police wheel her body out along with the old man. We later see her, maybe, looking out one of the windows before the room's door seems to close on its own. Okay, I've read that we can
We
see
sat
her.
there for like 10 fucking minutes and tried to
I
find
can't
her.
see
Mike said he
her.
saw her.
I've
I
never
did not
seen her.
see her. I like there is
Okay.
a gif of it that you can find. I found one on like an old Reddit forum. It's still really hard to like I think I saw what he saw. I will say,
Like, there's a
but
shadow.
it is a
I
line.
can see a
It's not a
shadow.
full apparition. It's like, and it was after doing research, it was meant to be an Easter egg. Like it was not supposed to be seen. And I think
Okay.
it probably contributed to the negative feelings I had about the film when I was younger and I saw it because I was like, the fuck just happened? Like, why did we linger there?
Right.
But we spent a lot of time looking for it, and he claims just to have seen it. I will say that I kind of maybe think I saw what he saw, but I am not really sure. It was really hard to see.
I do think, like, I don't want to, like, start talking about this movie by complaining about this movie, but I do have one thing that has always made me so freaking mad about this ending, and that is, so it ends with the slamming of the door, which, first of all, hack.
Yeah.
Second of all,
True.
why didn't they ring the bell?
Oh,
They set up that whole game
Chekhov's
where they
bell.
run and ring the
Yeah.
bell and they like pull it away from each other. So how much better would it have been if we were in the lobby and ding, the bell rang?
Yeah.
I don't.
Or we don't even have to be in the lobby. If we're looking
And
at the
just hear
window,
it.
it's the exact same thing, but then we
It's
hear
like
the bell.
I get the
Yeah.
ambiguity, but like I wish that it was solidified a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
I think now I kind of look at it and I'm like, you know what? You tricked me into looking at this scene for a really long time. You know?
It was ballsy. It was, yeah. I did. And we kept rewinding it. And then the slam kept getting, like, I have a very dysregulated nervous system. So the sound of that slamming door over and over again, I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, you have to, I don't want to look for the ghost anymore.
Yeah. But to be fair, it's the first time anyone has ever slammed a door in a horror movie
It's
to end
honestly
it, to imply the presence
second
of
time it
spirit,
was done in
right?
this film. So.
Groundbreaking. True. Well, okay, so those are our gripes. Let's talk about what we love. And Ashley, you chose this movie. So what is your story with the Innkeepers, and what do you think is the scariest part?
My gosh. Can I pick? Here's the thing. I love the scares in this movie. I love a good, slow, creepy horror movie where there are points where you're like, is anything gonna happen? But I love that because, like I said, I've been on paranormal investigations. I know that it's not like a scare a minute. So this is just a really realistic kind of spooky movie to me. And I always appreciate it when movies, and we already mentioned one that sort of does this as well. I think you guys have covered it, the others.
Yeah, I loved it.
Where
Yes.
they introduce ideas, real ideas that people who study the paranormal have into these movies where a lot of people don't. A lot of people do present the idea that like all ghosts are dead people, but this movie supposes that they're also live people who die later. And they also, you know, I've told people before, when you're seeing something in your house, you don't know that it's not you next week. It's not automatically like a ghost from the 70s or like from Victorian times. Like sometimes it's just you see yourself in the future. So that idea being presented in a horror movie just gets me amped.
Because it's almost like
Big
a
fan.
time thing too. Like it's not linear,
Yeah.
you know. And I
Time
I
doesn't
think that's
exist.
really interesting. Like
Yeah.
this could all be happening all at one time for all we know, you know.
There was this really great episode of gosh.
Is that what it's called?
I don't
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, that actually sounds like a good show.
It was a
Got some
it was
exclamation
one of
points, yeah.
the like kind of hacky paranormal investigation shows, but they got an EVP that was so fascinating to me. They were investigating some ship. It could have been the Queen Mary for all I know, but they were investigating some ship, and they got a back and forth from something. He didn't hear it at the time. They only heard it on the recording later. But essentially, the guy's in the room, and he's like, "Are you in here?" And a voice says like hello, and they're like, are you in the room with me now? And the voice says, of course I am, where are you?
Oof.
So like she's also being haunted by the paranormal investigator. She's not dead, she's alive in her room, and she's like, what am I hearing right now?
Oh shit.
And it's the ghost investigator in the future.
Ooh.
That's like Lake Mungo.
Yeah.
Mungo,
Oh yeah.
Fucking love. And also Sammy's favorite movie, The Life of Chuck, which
Don't.
I didn't say that. I'm joking. Have you seen that yet?
I have not. I don't plan to. No offense.
Yeah. Have you read the story?
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
novella?
read the story. And
So you at
that
least
was one of
know
those
I don't
where-
like being faked out. I
Yes.
fucking hate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those stories where it was like, this is what we're making into a movie, huh?
And they
Exactly.
did.
And I really liked the story a lot.
did
And I think
too.
that idea, like, I think
Same.
King captures that idea very well. I don't know if it works so well on screen. I like that we get it a little bit here. And that's why, like, we have Lake Mungo. I don't really need Life of Chuck to
At
tell
least
me.
this one didn't completely fake me out, you know? Like, so.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, so Sammy, what's your story with
So
the
I
Innkeepers?
will just get this out of the way at the top. I was not a fan of this movie upon its release. In 2011, I was 16, and movies like this were just like not in my wheelhouse quite yet. Like I was still like racing home to watch new Disney Channel original movies and like not telling my friends that I was watching them, you know? So slow burn horror was like a little too much, or maybe I should say it was not enough. Yes. But my sister loved this movie. And I loved Sarah Paxton, who, speaking of Disney Channel original
Yes.
movies, played Marnie in Return to Halloween Town. It sucks
You
because
are
like it's not the
so
same
right.
Marnie, you know, but the movie is not that bad. But I loved her specifically for her role in Aquamarine aquamarine, and I wish that mermaid killed people so we could cover it, because that is one of my JoJo's in
Yes.
it. Like, it is so good. It is like,
Guess they fuck through the blowhole or something. To quote Jennifer's body.
yeah, no, not in aquamarine. Although, you know, I wish
okay.
that was an added component to it. I wish we could have seen that.
To this
Yes.
children's
Yes,
movie.
but it is
Yes.
one of my
Absolutely.
favorites.
That's what it's missing.
But I've almost every time she would put this on, I would fall asleep before the climax, and then like upon finally watching the end the first time, I got really angry, as I do when like a maybe it was all in their head, you know, type of trope gets dropped to like explain the events of the film. Like, Jen, you've been on episodes with me where I've gotten angry about that component about things. I just don't enjoy that. But having said that, I actually really loved it this go around. Like, I cannot believe how much higher it's on my Ty West film like list, because it's now pretty high up. And I've always like maintained that this was like my least favorite of his movies, and it was actually the first one I ever saw of him. And I didn't even know who Ty West was. Like, I had never seen House of the Devil, which is one of my favorites. But I think just now that I'm older and my attention span is a little better, I could like appreciate it a lot more. It's funny because the audience score is like super low on Rotten Tomatoes, but the critic score is really high, which is just basically like a summation of like me seeing this at 16 and then me seeing it again now at 31. Like, I'm now the cinephile.
Yeah, it's also a movie that does improve upon rewatching it.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah. And I feel like it's not the movie that you might want it to be.
Right.
Like those lower scores, I feel like are people wanting it to be something different. And it feels like it's actively resisting that.
Well, and now I know, you know, I knew
Right.
what to expect. And I really I loved all of the characters. I feel like I've had
characters are
like
great.
situations like that with
Yeah.
male coworkers that I just, you know, wanted to be friends with, but you can tell that they have ulterior motives.
And then you wind up ghost hunting so that you don't end up making out. Yeah.
And then dead in a basement. Yeah. But I also really like that instead of focusing on people who arrive at the hotel, like most, I feel like hotel horror movies do, it's more on like, it's on the staff members, which I had never seen before. So I really liked that. But I also think it's really funny. I love how the music almost feels like it's taken from Ghostbusters. Mike made that point, and I was like, oh my God, it does sound like when they're like going through the library or something. It's it's very like hokey, but not hokey, but like light, I guess.
Light.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it gets like darker and more sinister, like as like her own ghost story starts to unravel. I also think she really reminded me of Rory Gilmore while I was watching this. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
As I was watching her, I was like, who is this? Like all of the mannerisms, her short hair, everything about her, like how she's kind of petulant, still very much a child, like in that like middle ground, like between adulthood.
like when she's yelling at Kelly McGillis, like
it's
"So leave
Rory
me
at
alone,
Yale.
okay? You know, it's very
like when
Rory.
she's pissed, or like, you know,
Rory at
like
Yale.
it's I'm having a bad day. Like it's like that. But I have a lot of theories to get into this episode, and I'm excited to share them with you all. I found a lot of good ones, and I found a really great article that Randall wrote, and like when the movie came out, that I like can't wait to share with you guys because it was really well done. So I was really surprised.
Awesome. Hey, we'll link that in the
Yes.
show note. And shout out to our Losers Club
Yes.
co-host, Randall Colburn, who may or may not be appearing in this very end soon. So stay tuned. Sammy, I had a similar experience to you. The first time I watched this, it was not until X that I became a fan of Ty West. I think I was just kind of not really into
didn't buy
his
into it
thing. Exactly. And then I watched X and I was like, okay, well, let me go back and I watched this. I got about 15 minutes in. I was like, I need something to happen, and I turned it off. And then I think I was just doing something else. Like I had it on in the background and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like,
no, there were a couple last night that got me.
yes. And it's like completely out of the blue because I was really in the mindset that this was just a slow burn, but it doesn't ever really catch on fire. And then towards the end, like it comes out of nowhere and it is very scary. And I love how patient it is. And so I was like, okay, yes, I'm on board for this. This is cool. And then watching it to cover it and like really like thinking about what they're saying, writing it down. Like I love Leanne. I think her
She
view
is
of
a rock star.
like that's what I believe, you know, and like I would love to be like that. I don't know if I want to be a medium, but
I want to be a cool older lady like that too. Like, yeah.
right.
I'm
and so
on my way.
you really are. You need to cut a couple inches off your hair. You'll get there, you know. But like I just hearing her whole monologue, which I wrote down quite a bit because I loved it. I was like, that's how I see the world now, you know. And I just loved everything about it. It was just, I liked the patience. I like that the scares feel earned. And I like that we don't ever get the full story. So, like, it's not over explaining.
I usually don't like that, but it worked for me this time. Like, I'm really surprised because, like, honestly, when I saw this on the thing, I was like, fuck. Like, so I was like, I really did not like this when I was younger. But I'm so glad that this gave me an opportunity to watch it with a new set of eyes. You know, like, I'm very familiar with his filmography now. I've seen almost all of his movies. So I think I can appreciate it a little bit more. But I do think, like, age helps a lot. Like, at 16, like, come on. I was fucking not, I was watching Rugrats. Like, I still was not.
I didn't think
like,
that the Blair Witch Project was scary when I was 15.
I didn't either.
That was
and now
me
I'm
in The
like,
Exorcist.
oh my God,
Exactly.
this is the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right?
I'm a different
Who did I think I
version of
was?
myself then. Like, I mean, I was, speaking of Halloween Town, like, that's what I was watching at that point, you know? And, like, like slashers. Like
Thrashers.
The Rasher.
skateboard videos.
Thrashers are just like, I think Maximum Overdrive is a thrasher.
Yes, definitely a thrasher.
I hadn't seen that one as a
and
kid.
are those cars ladies? Can we count that? I think we might be able to. I
Aren't
can
all,
make an
all
argument
cars
for
are
everything.
whatever gender you want them to be.
Exactly.
true.
Yeah, whatever fits the
Yes.
purposes of our show, you know, because we do what we want at the Lady Killers. But, like, I think this is one of those movies where, like, you have to engage with it on its level, you know, and it kind of pulls you to its level. And if you're not willing to do that, or you're not in a place where you're able to do that, then it's not going to work.
It's not
going to
work.
you know.
Yeah. And
But then,
you know,
if you can get there, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's great. I saw online, you know, Madeline to me was genuinely frightening every time you see her. And from what I have read online, it seems like a lot of people were disappointed with her design. But I think if we're going on the general lore of hotel ghosts, she's such a perfect representation. It's always a woman in a white dress. Every fucking hotel I've ever been to, there's a woman in a white
the
dress
La Llorona
wandering
thing.
the halls.
It's like the
exactly.
crying woman.
And like you said, like how we never sort of knew the whole story, and that's how it is. Like with these hauntings, it's like this legend of like this woman who hung herself, she killed herself on the eve of her marriage, da da da. And it's like we don't know what actually happened, but we know the story that everyone's told for X amount of years.
Right. Well, and on that note, let's talk about Madeline and that story in our next category. Who is she?
I just wish we could all get along like we used to in middle school. I wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy.
She doesn't even go here.
Do you even go to this school?
Okay, I also have to say, for some reason, I thought that her name was Maureen, so I put
fixed it in the
Maureen,
notes.
and then
Yeah,
I had to do
I did, yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay, cool.
I noticed it,
see,
and I was like, that's got to be Madeline. Who the fuck is Maureen?
Exactly. I had to do a Command F, and then I think
I figured,
missed
you know, I'd
some
put
of
it a part of
them.
corrections corner for you.
Okay, so we have Madeline O'Malley.
Oh,
Love
I
that
want to always say it
alliteration.
like
I
O'Malley.
feel
Like I want to say it with an Irish
O'Malley?
accent.
Madeline O'Malley.
And if you're a ghost, I feel like you have to have
Yeah.
alliteration.
Yeah.
And like y'all have permission to change my name when I die and start ghosting,
Perfect.
so that I can, you know, that I can be more,
Jen,
you know, ghostified. I guess.
I'm trying to think of a
Maureen
J last
Ferratu.
name. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
workshop
Yeah,
it.
we'll
We'll get
figure it
there
out.
at some point. Listeners, if you've got a ghost name suggestion for me, let us know. Okay, and then our victims, Claire, played by Sarah Paxton. I also may have called her Sarah in the notes because
Well, that's her name in real
they
life, and
felt like
honestly,
one of us
half the
did.
time
I know.
when I can't pronounce a character's name or I don't remember, I just go to the actor's name.
Same. And I think that's, to me, speaks to
Yeah.
this performance, because I felt like I was just watching a real person
Yes.
the whole time, and I was like, well,
She's
she's
so
Sarah.
good.
I like
I
her
know, I
screams.
love her in
like
this.
I guess so. Like she was almost
Uh-huh.
recast because he like would hear her scream and he was like, it's too goofy sounding. Like you don't sound scared,
But it
but it
feels
works
real.
for this, and that's why like that first
Yeah.
when she hops out of bed and sees it, it's like you think you're watching like a kid's movie almost, kind of like a kid getting scared from something under the bed. It's not. It doesn't feel very like mumblecore, indie-core horror movie,
Right.
But in reality,
like-
if like you woke up and saw that, a scream probably isn't what would happen. You'd probably like gasp
No.
and
I'd
run
lose my
away. But like,
breath.
how cinematic is
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Or like fall out of bed
yeah.
or something.
But I think that
Or, like,
that's a totally
fart, you know?
appropriate reaction to just be like, ah.
There's some Amy Schumer sketch where she farts when she gets scared and like a serial killer breaks into
Oh.
her apartment and she's hiding in the
Oh,
closet and they
no.
can hear her
It's
farting.
so fucking funny.
It is very funny. Okay, so our motive. Okay, I'm debating whether or not to tell you my connection to Dr. Boat Doctor here. Before or after?
Did you say Dr.
I'll tell you
Boat
after.
Doctor?
Dr.
Who's
Boat. Yes, I'm obsessed with Dr. Odyssey right now, which I call Dr. Boat Doctor.
Dr. Odyssey?
This is Joshua Jackson is a
Oh,
doctor
right.
on a sexy
Yes.
boat, and it's great. It's
Dr.
so
Boat
stupid.
Doctor.
Dr. Boat Doctor, of course, you know.
It's called Dr. Odyssey?
It's called Dr. Odyssey. Yes. Sammy,
How have I never heard of this?
it's well, it might be canceled soon, but it's also Ryan Murphy for network television. It's got Joshua
but
Jackson.
he was also in Dr. Death, wasn't he?
He was also in
He's
Dr.
in
Death.
all the doctors shows.
He is all in all the
found his
doctor
new
shows.
thing.
Dr. Boat Doctor.
He has, hey, and I am here for it. But anyways, they had an episode of Dr. Boat Doctor where someone dies. And they don't want to disrupt the cruise for everyone. They don't want to, like,
Of course.
because they're like, okay, people have been
yeah.
saving, some people have been saving their entire lives for this. They put him in the
Yep.
flower room
Oh.
and they sneak him out under on the laundry cart because they do not want, and it's a whole thing. It's like, we don't want to be disrespectful to his body, but we also don't want to like parade him through the
Oh
hotel
my
where
God,
anybody
what a
could walk
mess.
by.
Did that really happen?
I know.
Or is it just a...
I don't
Okay,
know.
not
I mean, I'm
fiction?
sure it probably.
I did hear there was an episode of What Happens, or not What Happens Live. I've got Andy on the brain.
You
No,
got
there was
the-
a- there was an episode of Everybody's Live with John Mulaney where they talk about cruises, and someone called in and he had a story about how when someone dies on a cruise, on one of your cruises, that's what you do. You literally like sneak
Yeah.
their body into the freezer until you port.
Yeah,
Man.
because it's. I mean, I don't want to belittle it by saying it's a downer, but like
It's a
kind
fucking
of-
downer.
that would ruin my day on my
Yeah,
vacation.
like, oh,
you
someone
know?
died on here. Like,
Right.
it's no, yeah, I wouldn't want to think of that.
I don't want to think about death. It's like in Barbie when like you're dancing. and you
Cruises
think about
already freak me
dying.
out already. I'm sorry.
Totally.
No fucking
I would
thank
fall
you.
off the boat.
Yeah, I'm not going to
good.
be there anyway, so I don't have to worry about it. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
true,
pretty bad.
exactly.
Yes, thanks. But no
Well, all that
thanks.
to say, the reason I brought it up is because our motive. Okay, and this is quoting. I listeners, imagine me clicking a flashlight under my chin and leaning in.
Are you
and
afraid of the
telling you
dark
around
type of
campfire.
vibes?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Do you know the story of Madeline O'Malley? She was the woman that died here in the hotel. She hung herself after her fiance stood her up on their wedding day. The original owners of the hotel thought it would be bad press and hurt the business, so they hid her dead body in the wood cellar for 3 days before they could smuggle her out onto the loading bay. When people of the town finally figured out what had happened here, they were outraged. So the owners had to close the hotel down and were forced to sell it. Nobody came through here again until the 80s, and ever since then, people have reported seeing the ghost of Madeline O'Malley roaming the hallways, waiting for her lover. Some say she's even looking to take up a new one. So,
Dr. Boat Doctor.
Dr.
Dr.
Boat
Rosa, yes. It's relevant in many situations. There's also a shark episode, which I have not gotten to
Oh,
yet.
I'm
but
fucking into that.
I'm excited. Exactly, yes. Pacey, sexy Pacey and sharks. Like
I don't know if
yes.
you've seen Dangerous Animals, but we
No,
okay
not yet.
we can cover it. So and I loved it, and I love
Sweet,
the loved
'cause the
ones
sharks
too.
are
So yeah,
ladies.
yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking love
It's
the
not
loved
so much
ones
the shark, but yes, there is a lady killer in it. But sure, we'll say the sharks too.
Yeah, shark. Okay, and her weapon is fear, but I want to ask, what does Madeline want, and why is she so scary? And in this question, I was kind of thinking, like, I almost asked, why are ghost brides so scary?
We should have saved
you
this
know?
for our bride month.
I know, pardon me,
Yeah.
because we are going to do a bride month later when Sammy got married. But yeah, what do we think? Well, Sammy, what do you think Madeline wants?
I mean, if we're to believe she's real, I
Yeah.
think maybe just wants to be seen. This is her final go. They're closing up shop. Like, it's a liquidating sale, basically. So I think she's really just trying to get her last hoorah in before she's, you know, maybe haunting a parking lot or whatever is going to be placed there instead. But as I said, I have some theories I read online that I'll be sharing throughout the episode. But I did want us to give a little horror-themed history lesson and dive into the real haunting at the hotel and the experiences that Ty West and the crew had while shooting there. So the Yankee Peddler Inn was once one of the most popular hotels in Torrington, Connecticut. It was originally opened by Frank and Alice Conley in 1891, though it was called the Conley Hotel at that time. Over the years, a number of rumors surrounded the inn, and if you believe the stories, a number of ghosts roamed the halls. It was said that the original owner, Alice Conley, passed away in room 353 of the hotel, and guests reported hearing her roaming the halls, perhaps still checking up on her tenants each night before bed. Those brave enough to stay in room 353 have reported hearing strange sounds in the night. Even in other rooms, guests claim to have had strange dreams while staying in the hotel or seeing lights cut out on or off on their own accord. So, you know, your typical haunted hotel setup.
Typical haunt.
But what I found creepiest of all was like this weird, strange coincidence Ty West told in an interview with IndieWire when asked why he chose the hotel. So the hotel that inspired the film is actually in the film. What happened was we were making my previous film, The House of the Devil, and we were staying at this hotel called the Yankee Peddler Inn because it was the best option to put the crew up in. It was the cheapest and nicest place we could find about 25 minutes from our location. And when we would go and shoot my satanic horror movie nearby, the weirder stuff would happen back at the hotel. It just kind of started off goofy, but it became this thing where most of the cast and crew started to think there was something up with the hotel. The staff fully believes that it's haunted. The whole town believes that it's haunted. So it has this kind of mystique to it. But what was charming to me about it was this mixture of historic, perhaps haunted building and totally bad 70s renovations. All the people who worked there were in their 20s. They were part-timers. So there's just this weird lore of the place. And at the same time, he said the place doesn't really live up to it. So he found it really charming and interesting. But he went on to say that while he is a skeptic, he definitely saw doors close by themselves and he saw TVs turn off and on by themselves. The light would always burn out in his room. Everyone on the crew had very vivid dreams every night, which is really strange. And he said that they started back up again when they came back to film this movie because that was during House on the Devil. And then the one story that is the most intriguing to me in the film, the most haunted room is the honeymoon suite. That's where the ghost stuff started in the hotel. The only reason I picked that room to shoot in was because it was big enough to do a dolly shot. No more thought went into it other than pure technical reasons. So when we were finishing the movie, I found out that the most haunted room in real life is the room I picked to be the haunted room in the movie. It could be a coincidence, but it's weird that it happened that way.
It's
and that
not.
creeped me out. That really creeped me out. Like, I think little things like that where they feel serendipitous, but also like fate, like something pulling you to that location without really knowing why. Like, I love stories like that.
Synchronicity, baby.
Yes. And so that just, like, as I read that last night, I just got like a little chill down my spine. I was like, oh, how creepy.
I have been to the Yankee Peddler Inn.
Oh,
No way.
And it was actually random. So I didn't go in the hotel. What happened was I was attending my husband, then boyfriend's little sister's graduation, which was at the Warner Theater right across the street. And my husband went to college in Torrington, Connecticut. So all the campus shots of House of the Devil was where he went to college. So he's always had that connection with Ty West, which I believe, I don't know if Ty West went there because maybe not. Maybe he just chose this campus because he's from Pennsylvania. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so we round this corner to go to the theater and he was like, oh, by the way, does that look familiar? And I looked up and I was like, the Yankee Peddler! I was such a huge fan. This was 2015 or 2016. So this was just a couple of years after the movie came out. But much like the film, the Yankee Peddler has been closed. It's been closed since like 2015. It was supposed to be temporary. It's been 10 years. Like, we don't know what's going on. But we visited the year after it closed. But we got to walk around the building. So I got to go in the back to see like the parking area where she's like taking out the trash and like where she finds the cellar door and everything. And this was so creepy. So I need to find my old phone to see if I still have these photos. But there's this narrow alleyway between the inn and the building next to it, which now it looks like there's an antique store in there now. But at the time, at least, the top floor of this other building was apartments with all these individual windows facing the inn. Every single window facing the Yankee Peddler Inn had religious iconography
Oof.
in the windows. Every single
Ooh.
one had a cross or a statue or an angel or a sigil facing the
Shit.
hotel.
Was there like windows facing them? Like, I wonder if it was like if they've seen stuff in the windows.
I don't know if they just
Because,
get a bad vibe.
like I said, like the whole town thinks it's haunted. Like, I guess,
Totally.
like from what it's like a thing. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
known.
like
Wow. That
It's
is
known to be a
creepy.
haunted hotel. Yeah, so that was like, I was like, oh my God, this is the creepiest alley I've ever seen. Like, even the building next to it is protecting itself
The Exorcist
from
or
the
something.
creepiness of this building.
And it's like,
Oh,
even
that's
if
so
they don't believe,
cool.
it's like, yeah, if everybody else is doing it, I guess what can it hurt?
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the only window that doesn't have
Doesn't, yeah.
protection.
Exactly, because guess where they're going
Yes.
if they get in
Right in
somewhere.
here.
Yeah. Well, and when I read this story too, like Sammy, you even said it's like classic haunt. You know, part of me's like, this story. I don't think the story. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Like, I
Maybe
want to
it
talk a
didn't
little bit
happen
about.
exactly the way.
I mean, someone did die
Right.
in the hotel. That's all. Like, it's
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you would have record of that, you know, like I would think.
Well, and I think after reading The Shining too, I think somebody's died in every hotel. Like, I just think that's a
think
thing
it
that
happens.
happens in hotels
Yes.
where lots of people are, you know. But there's something about this. But what I think is really interesting here is that this is just an urban legend, you know. It's the rumor of a haunt, and it kind of shapes itself over the years, you know. And part of me's like, maybe she was a bride, maybe not, maybe her body was in this room. Like, I think the thing that strikes me as odd, especially after watching that Dr. Boat Doctor episode, is that the town would be outraged that they held her body in this room. Like, that almost seems like a kind of compassionate thing to do with
Unless
somebody.
something you did something wrong, you know.
Well, I
like,
think,
uh,
yeah,
Right.
the fact that, like, they didn't want it didn't seem like they were holding the body for a proper burial. It seemed like in the story they were hiding the body to potentially dump it somewhere when the coast was clear, and possibly, especially if you see the setup of the hotel. I mean, I'm not kidding, the alleyways, like, my body times two. It's
Super
so
small.
small. So the people living there would have smelled something in that cellar. Like,
and all
it would have been
those buildings have probably been there since forever.
Yeah, totally. And like you said, so like when you said, what does Madeline want? Why is she so scary?
Yeah.
Like, exactly what Sammy said. I think she wants someone to see her because if we are to believe the story, to hang yourself in the honeymoon suite after being stood up, and like we said, any good haunted hotel, the actual story might be a lot different. But to hang yourself in a public setting like a hotel after being stood up by your fiance, that's a statement. So to take her final act and essentially erase it by covering it up and taking her body
Yes.
into the cellar and leaving it to rot before the townspeople report the smell, she could want revenge. She may just not want to be invisible anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love
I mean,
that.
'cause, like, she would be fine the body, like, to take that away from her, like, all the theatrics of being in a wedding dress, you know, like, and then no one
Yeah.
saw it. Yeah, I'd be like, no, someone's going to look at me.
Someone's
now.
going to see me.
Yes.
Well, because being stood up on your wedding day erases this marriage also. And that's like the day, like, you get a wedding dress to be seen
Yes.
in it too,
Oh.
you know? And it's giving me big Miss Havisham vibes,
Totally.
even though Miss Havisham is not dead. I mean, you know, she's a ghostly figure, but like just staying in your wedding dress for eternity, you know, just wanting to be seen. I think you're right.
Here's hoping I don't do that.
Exactly. We'll talk to Mike. We'll be
Yeah.
like, look, it at least just get through the wedding, you know?
I will hang myself in the honeymoon suite.
Look, I'm going to be mad if I don't get to see you in your dress.
Yeah,
so.
me too.
Well,
I
that's-
spent a pretty
so-
penny on it.
Yeah, and in no point of the movie was she trying to harm Claire. She just was showing herself to her, and she happened to be fucking terrifying.
Right, because this horrific thing happened. Okay, let's talk about that because I want to bring Claire into this. So we have not hidden a body unless we're doing it like Dr. Boat Doctor.
Well-
I also will say they put him in the flower room because it smells good too. So it's like,
That checks out.
heat comes in. Is it like a hot, like a
No, it's not like a hot
flower
house.
rooms
Okay.
are cold.
That's what it's
Oh,
refrigerated.
okay,
That's the
got
other
it,
reason.
got
it's for cut
Yeah.
flowers.
I'm
flowers
thinking
that are
it's
already
like some
cut.
Yes.
Florida sunroom in the cruise.
A greenhouse.
Yeah.
It's so interesting too. Y'all got to watch the show. It's on the plastic surgery episode. And this
Dr.
guy
Boat
has, like,
Doctor, okay.
Dr. Boat Doctor, he has made he's altered his body to look like a Ken doll too. And Dr. Boat
Oh.
Doctor is very touched.
This sounds
by
like
this
a
character.
Ryan Murphy joint.
It really does. It's very Ryan Murphy. It's like
Nip
Ryan
Tuck.
Murphy does network
Yes.
television, you know. Okay. Well, so we are, I don't know if we're getting into
And
a
the
flower
Ghostbuster
cold
mobile,
room.
whatever that, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But
Ecto
whatever
one.
it
Ecto 1.
exactly. But we are getting in loser, we're going killing.
This woman will soon cut, chop, break, and burn 5 men beyond recognition. And there isn't a jury in this country that will convict her.
All right. So, Ashley, you were kind of hinting at this. I want to talk about Claire. I think the first time I watched this one, I was not totally paying attention. I thought she just died of fright.
Yeah,
And
me too.
I don't necessarily think that's wrong, but I also love it. I love a ghost with a body count, you know,
Totally.
that is not just scary, it will kill you. And I also want to call out the Bell Witch because the Bell Witch has a victim to her name also.
Yes, she does.
So, okay, she seems drawn to Madeline, like she really wants to see her. And she tells Leanne she wants to know if Madeline is the spirit living in the hotel. And Madeline starts to appear to Claire after Leanne encourages her to open herself up. They have, it almost feels like an impromptu seance, you know?
Yeah, it's like an initiation.
Yeah. Well, and I think I am watching this without fully paying attention, and it feels like Madeline is targeting Claire, is haunting Claire specifically. But I think you're right, Ashley. I think she is just appearing, and she just happens to be scary.
She just happens to
you
be
know?
freaking terrifying with her mouth all open.
If you want to be seen and then this girl is like, I want to see you, you're like,
And
all
you're like,
right,
"Hi."
fine.
Yeah.
I granted you your
Exactly.
wish and now you're dead.
Sorry, I got.
I thought we were going to hang out.
Now you're screaming and running away. How dare you?
Right. Well, what do you think makes this connection happen? Like, why do we think Claire is drawn to Madeline, and why do we think Madeline is drawn to Claire?
Well, I think I talked about this briefly about how much I love the way this movie treats the paranormal and how time is an illusion. You know, time technically doesn't go in one direction or the other. We made up the concept of time so that we could have planners and know
Yep.
when to meet people
And farm.
and farm.
And
you know?
farm. Just farm.
So, in that sense, I don't believe Madeline is necessarily targeting Claire. Madeline might be investigating Claire as much as Claire is investigating her. Like Madeline, like that ghost hunter episode I told you about, where she was like, "Of course I'm in here. Where are you?" Like I don't hear.
Yeah.
Like she might only be catching glimpses of Claire as well. Like who fucking knows what this ghost sees? But also, if you think about people who, because Claire's not just seeing Madeline for the first time, she also sees the ghost of this dead man for the first time.
Yeah.
And it could be that she was seeing ghosts because she herself was close to the time of her death. So, like, if you think of people who are actively dying in hospice, who begin to see people in the room who aren't there, or even third man syndrome, which is such a fascinating thing that happens where people of all walks of life and religious backgrounds report a third person being present during traumatic events like car accidents. They'll say, "Who was the woman that was helping me?" And they're like, no one was here. And this happens all the time. And it's easy to say, you know, their brains are making it up. It was themselves trying to comfort themselves. But what if there is something about traumatic events or the event of death itself that alters our perception? So Claire was going to die. It already happened. Leanne saw it happen. Like the Terminator, you can't change the future because the future already occurred. So it's gonna happen. So maybe she really was just like opening up like a blooming flower because she was about to die.
Wow.
This is the most popular theory I found, and
Oh,
I
really?
completely- Yeah,
I love
no,
that.
Like,
Good.
I love that.
I'm
Like,
glad
yeah.
people are
So,
talking about that.
this is like if we're to believe, you know, that the ghosts are real, because I do have one that fits, the opposite line of thinking. This was the one that was like had the most upvotes on Reddit, but the person said the spirits do not want Claire. They just, accidentally terrified her and she dropped her inhaler, which like she sees as that can. So it's like also like, ghosts can change your perceptions of things too. Or when you're really scared, you used to see things that aren't there, because obviously it dropped down the stairs, but like she saw something else. But Lee tells Claire that, she saw 3 spirits in the hotel. One was Madeline, one was the old man, and one was Claire. She warned Claire that there was some kind of mistake, but nobody could save her in the basement. And Claire assumes Lee was referring to Madeline O'Malley as her body was hidden in the basement of the hotel after her death, but Lee never makes it clear to whom she was referring. But no, Claire is the third ghost in a premonition, just like you said, Ashley, which coincides with her watching A Christmas Carol at the beginning of the film. When she's in her room, you can hear that that's what she's watching, and there are 3 ghosts that come to pass in that story as well, which is like a ghost of
Marley.
But like it's also like a ghost of
and Marley.
Yes. But like it's like
Sorry.
a ghost of past,
Past,
a
present,
ghost of present
future.
and future. So she is the future ghost and he is the present, the old man.
I never made that connection. That's so
Shit.
good.
Because I saw this theory, and then because I remember writing down, I was like, oh, she's watching A Christmas Carol. And then when I read this theory, I was like, oh my God, that's why. Like he's telling us already right there, or at least that's a line of thinking.
Right.
But I think that the other 2 ghosts, Madeline and the old man, were simply just trying to warn her to stay out of the basement. Like they knew that was her fate, but due to that growing fear she had, like she locked all of the doors, and that like sealed her fate. Like she sealed her own fate. And like even the scene where she like lets the bird out, she's like, how did you get in there? It's just like how did you get in there? When you get in there, like there's no reason for you to be down there. And I hate that she goes down there. When I was watching it, I was like, what are you doing? Like you just got told 3 fucking times not to go down there. But yeah, so I was like, I like that theory. That's probably my favorite one of all of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I tried to pay closer attention this time, and it's really not clear, but I personally believe this. When Claire and Frank, what's the guy's name? Patrick. When Claire, Luke.
Yeah.
When Claire,
Frank
and
Patrick Luke.
Frank Patrick
Yes.
Luke.
That's his given name.
When Claire and Luke are in the basement, and it's starting to get actually like legitimately scary, and they're hearing like the muffled cries of a woman. I don't think that's Madeline. Madeline didn't die in the basement. I think that's
No.
her.
Oh,
shit.
I think she's literally hearing
screaming
herself.
to be let out.
Ooh. Well, and he says later, I could hear her screaming from the other side of the door, and I couldn't tell her. Like, she couldn't hear me saying to let her out. So I wonder if it's like an echo.
Yeah.
Again, it's that thing of time all happens all at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
like Interstellar kind of. Interstellar with
Right.
ghosts is what this movie is.
You know how that old saying, like when you shiver, like, oh, someone walked over your grave or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, what if like we don't know how or where or when we're gonna die. So like you literally could walk past the place you are going to die someday
Yeah.
all the time, and maybe you get a little shivery because
Jeez.
one day.
Ooh.
Look, okay, we talk about scary things, but our show is not typically scary. This may be
I
our
know.
most creepy
I'm gonna
episode
have to hang
ever.
out in my. I'm gonna have to hang out in Laurie Strode's apartment or house.
Oh, that's right.
by myself.
Alone.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna-
go to a movie after this.
Sammy, you watch Vanderpump Rules.
I'm watching
it'll take
reality
your mind
TV
right off of those
and
ghosts.
I'm eating over
Jax
the
will
sink.
take care of you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're eating grape jelly.
I
and,
love to
and
eat over the
saltines
sink.
over the sink.
Yeah, when I'm
too.
home alone,
It's so
I
fun.
I like crumbs on me. The crumbs completes the outfit when I'm by myself.
Exactly. Well, and I think like, okay, so there's a chicken and egg thing for me. And I swear, like the first couple of times I watched this, I think I'm just watching it as like a creepy, spooky ghost
Yeah.
story that like, I'm like, so I love that we're kind of unraveling a lot of these mysteries because I think I'm just kind of engaging with it as really scary, and it feels like an urban legend and a ghost that can kill you. Like part of me, I have mixed feelings about seeing Madeline as a ghost who is like kind of empathetic and maybe wanting to surround Claire in her last moments. But I also love a villainous woman who maybe wants to kill her. You know, maybe she sees the relationship between Luke and Claire, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But like, she wants that male attention.
She's
or
looking
something.
for her
Like, I wonder
lover. That's what the
exactly.
lore says.
Well, and that's what the lore says. Now, the lore also, like, I love that little tag because it's just like, and maybe she'll get you. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the ghost at all. But I like, if she was meant to die, it like takes my mind down a rabbit hole. Like, would she have died without the ghosts? Did the ghosts
I don't
cause her
know.
to die?
You don't like,
Did
yeah.
and I guess if time really is like, if we're thinking about Arrival time, like that Arrival movie with the
Yes.
Oh, I
aliens
love
where
that movie.
everything
Yeah.
is a circle and it's essentially just happening
Yes.
now, and it's what level of perception we're on, then yes and yes and yes.
Yeah,
and
all of the above.
I think
love
it makes
that.
it a better movie too. Like when you said, the first
Yeah.
time you watched it, you just watched it as like a creepy hotel movie. And so did
Mm-hmm.
I. And I think that's why I didn't enjoy it, because I was like, nothing made sense in the end, really. And we get told, like, you just get like hit with that, oh, well, we lost her and she lost her inhaler. Like they present it as if it was all in her head. And as I said, that's
Mm-hmm.
not something I like. So I was like, oh, well, cool. I just watched an hour and a half of not a real haunting, and I don't like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's not fun. That's not an enjoyable experience for me. But like by analyzing it in this light, I think it adds weight to a flimsy paper a little bit, like
Totally.
it's like it makes it worth reading.
Well, and I think that, she lost her inhaler. That simple explanation, it always makes me think of 1408,
Yes.
where he's like, it would have looked like I just had a heart attack or I just died. I like drowned in the bathtub or something. But my end, what actually happened, what I experienced would have been unspeakable. And that's what happens in 1408. But I love this idea that what actually happens in the last moments of your death is not what it might look like when we are looking at your mortal remains.
I mean, who knows how many people like who have had heart attacks weren't like scared to death or something.
Yeah, we
Right.
don't know that this hotel has only claimed these 3 people, but these 3 people
Right.
or these 3 ghosts are central to this particular night, this particular story. Everything had
Yeah.
to come together how it was to end with that ending. And, when you talk about a vengeful spirit, like maybe it was just that Claire worked for the hotel. The guys
and
that
she
hid her body in the basement and let her rot there for however long also worked for the hotel.
Yeah, it's like Jason wanting to kill the counselors.
Yeah.
It's like you are just a representative, and there's something that's like pinging in my brain that's like the ghost does not see the difference in time. The ghost thinks it is continually harming
Yes.
the person. It might be this Ghost in the Burbs podcast that I'm obsessed with. But I think that this, since starting a true crime podcast and really thinking about how we depict true crime in narrative fiction or like on TV and films and all that, I've been really thinking about death and like privacy in death, and like how death is losing your autonomy. And so I think in this moment, what your body looks like after death, like I always think about the Regulators when the lady dies and you can see her underwear, and that just feels kind of like a nightmare to me. Like you just lose
Well,
control.
it's like the Marilyn Monroe thing, like the theory that like,
Exactly.
her body was penetrated after she died because the people like took her body to it's like even in death she was raped.
Yeah.
And that's a terrifying thought.
Right. And I think like if what actually happens to me looks different, then that does give me a little bit of privacy in that moment. And if we're looking at Claire, the only people who see what actually happens are the people that have already experienced the same thing. And so it almost feels like a moment of solidarity there. And then I wonder if that's part of what Madeline is so frustrated with, is that she did not have control over what happened to her body and what she wanted.
It's like history repeating itself too.
Exactly.
Like because no one will know that. Everyone will think she just like it was a dumb accident. She dropped her thing and that's it. Like no one will know the real fear and like turmoil that was happening inside of her.
Right.
And she has no control over the narrative that's being spun after, and that's no one like
Well,
that.
and they're not going to believe all this ghost shit she just saw too.
Yeah.
No, especially not after like the way she hit her head. She looks bonkers.
Right.
If she had gotten out of that, everyone would have been like, "Are you good?"
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like-
Sure, you saw a ghost. Well,
yeah. Okay.
sure, Dan. Okay,
Sure,
let's
Dan.
talk about
Yeah.
this. Is in my head. I don't know why I keep singing a billion songs in this episode, but I'm looking at this category and I'm thinking the old man and the mystery. So
right,
let's
Marnie.
talk about. I know, seriously. Let's talk. Oh no.
Oh,
I know
that's
what you're talking about,
I think
girl.
it's Edie Brickell when she sings Edie Brickell. So I bet she would sing a Sarah McLachlan too.
She
Marnie likes Sarah Mack.
Yeah, but it would be that "Arms of an Angel" song.
Oh
That's
God, no,
cheesiest.
not the dog one, the animal. I hate like anytime that comes on.
You got to save those cats, Sammy.
Yeah, donate.
It makes
your
me turn the
nickels.
channel.
You personally are killing them. All right, so let's talk about this old man. Leanne says 3 spirits they want to live. There was a terrible tragedy in this hotel, a mistake. You can't save her. They tried to warn her. They tried to help her, which all makes sense if we're talking about these 3 ghosts and Claire being the third one.
Yeah.
And then the old man, he says, 353 is where I spent my honeymoon. This whole place holds some special memories for me. It's interesting to go back to a place and it feels like you never left, almost like you're right at home. And he says, I'm just here for a bit of nostalgia. So, all right. This is, in my mind, watching this the first time, I was like, well, that's the guy who stood her up. And he's coming
Same.
to pay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's way too long of a time discrepancy because she's 18. It's supposed to be the end of the 1800s.
Well, and also, if they didn't get married, then he wouldn't have been in the honeymoon room.
I think it's a bit of a red herring. And like, again, 16-year-old me was like, what is this character? Why are you introducing this character? Like, I thought there was supposed to be a larger meaning to him. But I think that's because when you're younger and you haven't like watched a lot of movies, you just assume everything is going to be spoon-fed to you, you know? And I was not enjoying not being spoon-fed at that time.
Well, Ashley, what do you think about this old man? And why are they haunting together now?
Well, he did scare the ever-loving shit out of me in that basement. But one thing I did sort of yearn for, and I don't know if I did on this rewatch, but I did initially wish that Ty had found a way to connect the old man to the story more, because it does seem like he kind of comes out of nowhere. But at the same time, we're culminating on the ending of this hotel. If this old man, he probably was thinking about this for a long time. This is his last chance to do this. It's not.
He played knick-knack on my shoe.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to be on the night where, you know, she's having all of these other experiences, you know, like everything had to come together perfectly.
The closing of this hotel is like the event that sets off all of these other events. And unfortunately, hotels are a very popular place to commit suicide. Because a lot of people want to go away from their family. They don't want their family members to find their body. So they do it in a hotel where they can have privacy, and some stranger can find them and it won't maybe be as traumatic.
Oh, how nice.
Seriously. Well, and it won't like
so sweet.
It won't be cleanup in your house, you know, like.
But
I
that
get
cleanup was
it.
bonkers. Like, could you imagine?
That was insane. Can you just take a pill, sir?
Yes.
Like,
Oh my
or
God.
like even a shot to the head maybe would have been less blood than all of that blood. Like,
was a lot.
it's like even when it comes down, you can. Oh, there's so much blood still on the thing. I was like, that is like that's a really shitty thing to do to a stranger.
Yeah, but maybe he thought, you know, they're about to tear this
They're
building
closing the
down. Maybe
hotel.
they'll just leave my blood in this tub.
Be
But
a bit of a what's eating Gilbert Grape kind of thing.
same with Madeline, though. I don't think he's out to get Claire. I think
No,
There's-
me neither.
two options. I think it's possible because of what Leanne said about like they tried to warn her. But again, Leanne may be talking about herself. She doesn't know who they is necessarily, of who tried to warn her.
It could be several people.
Yeah.
I think.
So it is possible that maybe he was following her because he wanted to try and help her. But I also think it's possible that he's recently deceased. He's wandering around trying to figure out what's going on. Claire's the only person who reacted to him in any way. So he's just following her to be like, can you assist me, ma'am?
Help me.
Yeah.
Help.
I'm
You brought me the linens.
You were kind to me, and now it seems like you can see me.
Yeah, and she was like, she did help him. And there's that moment where he kind of like before he dies, where he's like behind her and then he disappears too. That I think feels
Eerie.
very eerie.
Looking at the pictures on the wall.
I picked up on this one. Which I thought, like, at the end, I kept, like, looking. I was like, are we doing... Because the first time I watched it, I remember thinking, like, are they going to do a Shining thing? Like, and
Where
I kept
all
waiting
three
to
of
zoom
them are
into
in
the
one
portrait.
photo on the wall.
Yes, they're all there. But upon this watch, like, when he says, you know, this place just feels like home, don't you think? Like, I think that's maybe, like... her belonging there. He knew that she was also going to spend the rest of eternity here. Like, doesn't this feel like home? It's about to be home for me forever, and I think it's about to be home for you as well forever. But that's almost in a way another warning of like but you're not. It's almost like how I look at it is like it's a bit like a comedy of errors or just like one misunderstanding after misunderstanding. But I feel like it's like she thinks she has like all of the puzzle pieces. She just doesn't know how to put them together. And I mean, I wouldn't have seen that as a warning, but like now with hindsight, I'm like,
Yeah.
of didn't you think that's weird that he would say that? Like, especially after both of you are about to be here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I mean, she is actively looking for them too. Like, part of me is like, well, you want to
Yeah.
see ghosts?
You want to see ghosts?
All right.
Now you can see them for
I'm
eternity.
here.
Now you're seeing two of them, and you're gonna be one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can live it, baby.
Ooh. It also reminds me, I've recently watched American Horror Story Hotel too. So it's like if you die in the hotel,
You
then
never
it's just like
leave.
I
a
love that's
less
one of my favorite
sexy
seasons.
version. It's another Ryan Murphy.
1408 does that too, though.
They
like,
do.
It's decades of ghosts in the same room.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a lot of energy, and I think also when something bad has happened there, it's like almost like other bad things also have to happen there. Like it breeds on that, or it lives on that. Like it brings in.
I think
bad
that's
and-
why hotels are almost always haunted. Like if they are a certain age,
Yeah.
like every single one, the Drake in Chicago, every city, you pick the 3 oldest hotels and they have an abundance of stories. And I think that's because, I mean, it's constant exchanging of energy, new energy coming in, energy leaving, everyone's moving, you're going out, you're not spending, it's just energy always. So of course that's gonna cause some at least strange feelings, if not actual events taking place.
It's like a living thing. I really do like. I look. It's like an organ pumping, and like I do feel like these places, like even like Gettysburg or like Ground Zero, like all of these places where bad things have happened. I almost feel like they're fated to keep having these bad things happen over and over again. They can never wipe themselves clean of the tragedy.
Well, and I like the idea that this room like calls lovesick people, or people whose hearts have been broken in some way, that it's almost like a beacon for that, and that's why they're both drawn to this room, even though they don't have any connection. It's just that maybe when he was there, he felt her spirit in that room, and that's what's drawing him back. All right, I want to talk about the other man in this movie because I've got some thoughts about Mr. Luke. Before we do that, let's pay some bills. Okay, so my gripe with this movie, the thing that drives me fucking crazy, is when she is freaking out. She's like, hey, we gotta leave. Hey, the dude's dead upstairs. And she's like, no. I just have to tell you this one thing. And it's clear as day. He's about to say, I'm in love with you.
Confess his love.
Exactly.
His
And
love.
I'm like, no, okay, you don't have to stay inside and wait for that. We know what's happening. Leave. But I will allow it because it gives us that really cool ending. Okay, but Luke says, you really got to be careful about what's going on up here. You start thinking you're seeing things and then you never stop. None of this is worth getting yourself worked up over. I also don't like when he's mean to Leanne. He also seems like he kind of likes her. He's about to make
He's
a
friend zoned
move.
hardcore.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I don't hate this guy. Like, there's something really likable
me
about
neither.
him.
Innocent.
you
He's
know?
not,
We know
he's
him.
not
We
going
all know that guy.
He's non-threatening, even though it's annoying. Especially like, God, how triggering is the word friend zone?
Seriously,
It is.
Yeah.
Because it's been used against me quite a few times.
The amount of
and it
times
sucks.
that I have had a close personal male friend that I felt a real connection with and I shared things with that I didn't share with other people, and then it got thrown back
your
in my
friend.
face that like I was doing something wrong by being their friend because I was not fucking them. And it's like, how do you think that makes me feel, you psycho?
Exactly.
So yes, we all know Luke.
Like I can always tell. You always get that look of like, and it's like I think I have to tell
It's
you.
like, I'm
something.
gonna
It's just like,
fucking
here we go.
barf.
It's over. We're done.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're done.
And just for the record, the friend zone is bullshit because it commodifies and it objectifies women and it treats women as like objects, a prize to be won. What's that from?
And like,
if I like you, you'll
and
know.
like I owe you
exactly.
sexual favors for being my friend.
And you just figure out the right way to be friends, or if you just wait around long enough, like, or you could just be my actual friend.
I'm not playing a long con, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go months of being like beating around the bush. Like if I like you, I'm gonna make a move on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
There's a reason that at 37 I have my husband, my gay BFF, and like maybe 2 male friends. Everyone else is a male acquaintance. Like you're not getting any of my dark secrets anymore, fellas.
Or ones that I made while I was in relationships. So, like, we knew that there was, like, I never thought that
I
that
know,
was,
but wait
like,
until you break up and all of a sudden they're like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, then they get weird.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's that Seinfeld episode.
There it
you
is.
know,
Yeah.
where they're just you're just gonna be
Don't be
there.
that guy,
Yeah,
guys.
don't be that guy. Friend zone is bullshit. But that said, and he doesn't really get a chance to
Redeem himself.
yeah. But I also part of me wonders how he would handle it, because there's that moment where she's freaked out and she wakes him up in the middle of the night and then he starts putting his clothes on and she's like,
it's really creepy. It gave me like a weird vibe. Like the way he just kind of sat back there in the dark and you can see his silhouette, and it's like alluding to him being like, okay, well, if you're not going to go, come in here. And he like lays in the bed. It's very presumptuous, and you can tell she gets uncomfortable.
Right.
And
in
it's
that
also
scene.
a scene where it's like, I mean, he did just wake up. He's probably not thinking straight. That's why he didn't turn the
Yeah.
light on. He's adjusting his eyes. His pants are off because he's asleep.
right. It's like when she runs
And
downstairs
he likes
with
this
her pants
girl,
off.
I'd be like, maybe she's here to make a move.
Yeah.
You know, two on me. Maybe she's saying she's scared because she
Yeah.
wants to be with
Yeah.
me. You can convince yourself of some shit. So
Yes, you can.
Well, and we were thinking, is this the chicken or the egg thing? And I wonder, like, she suggests drunkenly ghost hunting in the basement because she doesn't want to continue this conversation about how he likes her so much, he'll do anything for her. She knows what's coming, and so that's why she says, I have an idea, and
his
then
look
gets
on
up
his
and
face is just
moves.
like womp womp. It's so
Exactly.
sad.
So I wonder if, and I'm not accusing him of killing her.
No,
That's kind of
no.
what I want to ask about. But I do wonder if this kind of like trying to escape the situation does put her in danger, and that might be why she ends up dying. And it just happens that the ghosts are
Yeah.
around also. Also, he's the one who introduced the fucking idea that the ghosts are around. He's the reason she's so into this ghost hunting thing. So does it feel like he's partially responsible for her death? And does that feel fair? Because I think I have a hard time putting responsibility on him because I do like him.
Yeah, I don't think
know?
it. Here's the thing. Was it a super pussy thing to leave her?
Yeah.
When he was scared?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
But
yeah.
he came back. But he also may have came back
did,
to
true.
tell her he loved
Proclaim
her.
his
I don't
love.
know. Ugh.
and then
Whatever.
and then wouldn't let her leave because he's got to go man take care of everything.
Also, like, she's in like a heightened state. Like, I would not have left her alone at all after that. Like, but again, it's
Yeah.
hindsight. You know, he's not actively trying to hurt her. If anything, at a point,
Yeah.
like, but when I first saw this, I thought maybe what he was coming back to say, if it wasn't to proclaim his love, was that he was like maybe played a joke on her, you know, and like none of it, because obviously he had lied about seeing her, but I thought maybe he had like made it look like something was in her bed or something, you know, like I thought that's what it was. And I was like, well, now I'm mad at him. But like, he doesn't really do anything that bad. Like, it's all really
No.
just hindsight type of thing.
Well, and
Yeah.
the haunting stuff, the paranormal, the investigating, that's his thing.
Yeah.
He has this website, he has this equipment, and that was something that when he brought it up to her, it lit her up. She was interested. So of course he's going to say, "Yeah, I saw her once." It's like, "Oh my God, tell me more." So like he literally probably made up that he saw her simply because he thought this is a story that this girl that I like might find interesting. And so to admit to her, like, I never saw her, okay? I've never seen her. Like, I made it up.
and now I'm scared.
And now I'm freaking
I'm
scared.
I want to go.
What I do find funny, I do have to bring this up because bringing it back to real world experience, I've investigated with men and women, and usually women are a lot cooler under pressure than men are. Men get scared, dude. Men get scared.
It's almost as if, you know, that's like historically true.
I know.
Yeah, or like they can't handle not having control over everything in their
Well,
environment.
and also, do you guys
know?
remember that thing on the internet a while ago where you would ask men and women what they would be more afraid of to wake up to in the middle of the night
No.
in your
bear
bedroom?
or a
Would you
man?
be, yeah, well, kind
a
of.
bear or a
It was,
man?
would you be more afraid of a real intruder or a ghost?
Oh.
And men mostly said they would rather have a real intruder because they were like, because I can take them.
Oh, I'm ghost
And
all the
women,
way.
obviously,
Yeah.
all
Uh-huh.
said ghost.
Ghost
because a
for
real
sure.
intruder
Ghost
in
is
my
weightless. I'm not.
Yeah,
like,
is me getting attacked.
yes.
Exactly.
No
That's
chance.
just like something we're constantly afraid of anyways.
I stand at 5'2". Okay, the ghost is
Yeah, I'm
something
not
I can
taking on
take.
any
Yeah.
intruders.
Well, and I just love the hubris of all these men thinking, sure, I could take on an intruder, like big, strong me.
Ooh, big, strong man, fancy new whatever.
Do your thing.
But okay, so I read, like, this is the other theory of, like, that it never really happened, okay? That has a lot of, people like it. I don't like it, but I can get behind it. So the explanation is that the hotel was not haunted until Claire died in it, and now she haunts it, coinciding with the closing. Throughout the movie, she was just letting the fear get to her head and seeing things. Luke lied to her that he had seen ghosts. Leanne added to her delusion by telling her the crystals were telling her about other spirits, and she witnessed the man committing suicide, etc., etc. All of this compiled in her head and made her think she was seeing things. Notice she's the only person in the entire film to ever see anything. She saw the piano key pressed down. She saw the ghost behind Luke when they went down to the basement to do the recording. He didn't see it because he ran away. She saw the ghost again in the basement when she died. And so, like, I mean, I get it, I can see, like, they've set it up for that line of thinking as well, and which is also what I like about this movie, is because you can kind of, it's a choose your own adventure a little bit, and I like that, like, because I like both of these theories, one more than the other, but at least they both check out, you can kind of decide which experience you want out of this film. But I did, like, I didn't really think of that until after, and I read this, where I was like, I guess she really is the only person that sees anything. Like, even Leanne,
She could have scared herself to death.
yes. Confirmation bias is a
and-
thing. When you are in a line of thinking and it gets, I've spiraled myself.
Oh yeah, that's an old scary stories to tell in the dark, where the woman visits the grave and she's dared to put a knife in the soil of the grave, and what she accidentally does is she stabs her dress.
Right.
And she tries to run away, and she feels a hand grab her dress, and she scares herself to death, but really she just stabbed her own dress into the ground.
Oh,
But those types of stories are really it's like, again, it's the misunderstanding thing, because sometimes that's what gets you in the end. It's not this larger than life situation. It's that you dropped your inhaler and you locked all of the doors because you were afraid, so you got stuck
And you fell
in
down
there.
and you busted your head
Hard,
open.
like hard.
Exactly.
I almost thought that's when she died, because it'd been so long since I had seen this.
Yeah, she really cracked herself.
And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So there's no, there's not let up for debate. Like, she cracked her head, but then I was like, oh, I guess it's, she did get scared to death.
And I love that. Like, I love a movie that can pull that off, because I feel like that can either be very cheesy, like, as much as I love Nadine's hair just turning white as she gets scared by Randall Flagg. Like,
Or Leland
I just
Palmer
love it
in
when
Twin Peaks, like, his hair goes white.
Exactly. I just love when you can pull off someone getting scared to death and it feels believable, because that's what I think happened here. Like, I think maybe she scared herself to death in the form of an asthma attack, and that's just the mechanics of how it happened, but she died because she was so scared.
Yeah,
you know?
regardless, I think she died because she was so scared. She did scare herself to death because, again, Madeline wasn't doing anything to harm her. She never touched her. She never.
She can't help it that she's scary looking.
Yeah, she can't help it that when she hung herself, her mouth hung open all weird, and her
She's
body
in a
rot,
scary
and
white
she's
dress.
scary.
So the theory that I read is that she actually died when Lena Dunham is talking to her in the coffee
Of
shop.
boredom.
She was bored to
Yeah.
death.
Is the name. And that the whole thing is just her and ghosts.
Which is
the
honestly,
ghosts
like, I
and then
kind of
her-
feel
That's
bad,
hilarious.
because I was like, the girl's, I mean, she's just looking for a connection with someone, I
she
think.
just wants a friend,
I
someone to
know,
listen to her.
but you know she says that to every fucking person that comes
Oh,
in.
I know. As someone who has worked at a coffee shop, I have seen both sides of that.
And she comes back with no coffee too. I'm like, did you just
Leave?
have to
You were
run
like,
out
you know,
of
I
here
can't
'cause
do
you
it.
couldn't
Actually, I
do
have
it
to go.
anymore?
Well, it looked like
so
maybe the
funny.
machine was broken. Like, it looked like it kind of fizzled out. So, and then I remember thinking as a kid, or like when I watched it as a kid, I was a teenager, I was like, oh, well, maybe the ghost is affecting the coffee shop too, and that's why she couldn't get any coffee. Making up
Okay,
shit.
also, this moment, like, this is not to do with the ghosts at all, but there's this moment where she asks Lena Dunham, as this coffee shop lady.
Don't know her name. Have
Like-
no idea.
Exactly. She's just the annoying girl. But she asks her, don't all Cyclopses have one eye? Essentially, isn't that redundant? And the way she is just like staring her down, and then she says, what do you mean? And it's just like the rage that activates it really.
Well, what do you
creeped me
mean? What do
out
you
this
mean? Like, you
time.
work here. I don't know. I look at everything. I know everything. If I work someplace, I know every orifice of that place. So if there's a cyclops behind me and someone brings it up, I'm going to know that they're talking about the cyclops on the chalkboard.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. She knows. And it's like in this moment, it feels to me like she's trying to decide if she's going to kill this person, And it's this small moment.
But again, it's very Rory Gilmore. Like, I'm telling you, like, in that moment in particular, I was like, oh, because Rory's not a girl's girl. You know what I mean? Like, she is, like, she's not like the other girls. She likes to talk about books and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
talking about boys, no thank you.
She might be on the spectrum just a tad.
That's okay, too. But she does not enjoy
Exactly.
discussing
We all are.
gossipy
Yeah.
shit. Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
But I love that moment. And it's such a very specific choice with a very weird part. And it legit like creeped me out. I was like, oh shit, Lena Dunham's going to
That is so funny. I did not get the creeps from Lena Dunham, but I appreciate the fact that you did.
Yeah, it's just another level to this
And it's
movie,
funny because at the time, Girls hadn't even come out yet, because I was reading an article and it was like a moment with a barista played by Lena Dunham, and in parentheses it said tiny furniture. And I was like,
Oh God, I've seen
"Aw,
that. Oh my
baby
God, that's forever ago.
Lena."
And it's funny because in House of the
Girl.
Devil, it's Greta Gerwig that is like
It's Greta
the
Gerwig.
cameo. So it's like he puts female directors.
Ty West has a very healthy and lovely relationship with women, and I will talk about it when we talk about my favorite character in this movie.
Okay, yeah, I do. Oh, okay. Well, and on that note, let's go to our next category. Good for her.
Claiming she could take it no more, the young mother released the emergency brake, allowing her car to roll backwards into the nearby lake.
Good for her.
In which we look into the camera every single time and say, yes, we know murder is bad.
No.
Lena Dunham knows it too. That's why she decided not to kill us. Okay, let's talk about. I fucking love that this is Kelly McGillis
Oh,
too.
Who
my
is
God.
that?
Please
oh,
do
from
more
Top
things.
Gun.
She's
Top
Top
Gun.
Gun.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
right. 'Cause
Yeah, she takes my breath away. Love her. I wrote down so many fucking things that she said. And I think going into this, which is kind of what I want to talk about, like I had this like I love that she's introduced to us as a bitch too,
Yeah.
Because women aren't always nice.
I'm
Exactly,
certainly not.
yeah.
So
I'm not.
And same, yeah. And she's famous for playing a mom too, so it's like playing with this iconic role too, or like this archetype. But she says, "Sorry about yesterday. I have a tendency to not be a nice person." I was like, same. She uses a pendulum, which I fucking love. You don't see that. Like I feel like it's almost always a Ouija board or tarot, mostly Ouija board, because I feel
Tarot
like
is
that's
so
just
funny because that's not really a tool.
talking to the spirits to me,
Yeah,
like
that's-
that's more of like a
You
universe
can
thing.
for sure.
Like,
yeah, you
yeah,
can for
but
sure.
that's just not quite what. That's not my understanding of what tarot is or does. But I feel like we don't see a pendulum enough.
I think
you know,
they're
and
very
I
eerie.
really love
like,
it here.
I think of Edgar Allan Poe. I think of like just centuries
Yeah, the
of
early
spooky shit.
spiritualism movement.
Yes,
The
love
best.
it.
This used to be a necklace. It broke.
Well,
so
now
it's
you're-
just my pendulum.
Now it's a
Leanne.
But it's also my fidget. I just like swing it all over the place while we're recording.
Big dick swinging.
It's crystal. No, it's not crystal. It's quartz.
Yeah.
Crystal quartz. Crystal quartz. I
That's a
can't
tough
say
one.
it. It is. Yeah.
Crystal quartz.
Okay. Well, so Leanne says everything in this world is
I just wanted
connected,
to
whether
try
we
it.
understand. What'd you
Crystal
say?
quartz, crystal
I
quartz,
was
crystal
just over here
quartz.
like,
Crystal quartz,
crystal
crystal
quartz.
quartz, crystal quartz. And so now Beetlejuice
Yes.
is going to appear behind
Just
all
a
of
ton
us. 'Cause
of
we said it 3
crystal
times.
quartz entities.
I mean, that crystal quartz is a good energy.
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
that.
It's a good band name.
That can be your ghost name.
Yeah.
Yes,
Crystal
there we
quartz.
go, crystal quartz, and it's hard to say, so you
Yeah.
gotta really want it. There we go. Okay, so Leanne says everything in this world is connected, whether we understand that or not. Depends on our sense of perception. Oh, chef's kiss, our willingness to communicate. There is no real in this world, Claire. It's all a state of being. There are no beginnings. There are no ends. There are no ghosts. We're each divine beings that incorporate one energy in the universe like droplets of water in a vast ocean. The universe has a plan for each of us. And then she says, "You mustn't go in the
If someone
basement." But I
dropped
feel like I
that
just
on me, like
spoiled the
those, if
thunder.
I had that like words of wisdom moment, I'm
Yeah.
listening to that bitch. Like
I'm not going into
I'm
the
not
basement.
going.
Yeah.
Like, especially seeing her face, like when she pulls her out of bed and she steps down into the basement, her reaction to that would have immediately sent me into like, what the fuck did you see? And what do I need to do to avoid what you just saw?
Exactly. And that, I think, tells me more about
Yeah.
Claire. I think, too, that, like, I think she is still kind of looking at this through Luke's lens of, like, this is a fun ghost hunting thing. It's not necessarily real. Whereas Leanne feels like she has a genuine connection to the spirit world. I love that she makes the distinction between spirit and ghost, too. So, Ashley, you just alluded to your favorite character. I'm assuming that's Leanne. Tell me why you love her.
Let me count the ways. First of all, like, is Leanne mean? Leanne is mean. She had one career in Hollywood and a second career as a spiritualist. She hasn't had anyone be kind to her in 35 years. Okay. Yeah, she's mean.
Yeah.
But also what I love about her, well, okay, I'm going to get to that next. What I do want to talk about, I do think that there's a tendency for people. So I always talk about it as like, if you want to live in like the ghost hunters world where ghosts are dead people, they died, they're dead. That's kindergarten. If you want to graduate, you need to move into a much more physics-centered understanding of it.
The science.
So the science. So one of my absolute favorite paranormal, I guess, investigators, you could call them. Do you guys know Greg and Dana Newkirk?
No.
I know that name.
I'm going to send you some stuff. So they have some really incredible paranormal documentaries with specific hauntings, specific cases. They don't just study the paranormal, they study UFOs, extraterrestrials, everything. They're very much so
High
spiritual.
strangeness kind of
High
thing. Yeah.
strangeness, exactly. Synchronicities, high strangeness. It's all connected. And the way they talk about it is a lot more advanced. And to someone like me, it's a lot more fun. To someone who wants to live in the ghost hunters realm, it's not as fun because it takes a lot of spookiness out of it, but it adds so much more intrigue to it, in my opinion.
If anything, I think that makes it spookier to me. If it like when you add the science to it, like I'm really into the missing 411 stuff. Do you know?
Oh boy,
it's one of my favorite topics. Like,
Bigfoot is an
it's
interdimensional
so
being.
good.
Okay,
Like I'm in the
He's not
subreddit.
flesh
I've
and
watched
blood.
both documentaries. Like I love that shit. So I like going to like my brain wants to make sense of stuff, and so that entry level, like oh, it's just there's a story here. It's a haunted, spooky story. Someone died here. It's all fun. Like sure, it's fun.
There's too many unanswered questions.
Yes, I want it to make sense to me. So if I can go down a rabbit hole, I'm that's the lane I'm choosing to go down.
Yeah, because if you tell me that these ghosts are dead people, then why are there not billions
I
of
know.
ghosts?
Yes. Why are there not dinosaur
Billions of
ghosts?
Yes.
Why are there not dinosaurs? Why are there not, you know what I mean? Like there has to be something different to it. It can't just be that this is a dead person. And then you can add new theories onto that. Like, well, they died a traumatic death, or well, they have unfinished business. And it's like a lot of people do that. So like, yeah, what makes a ghost manifest itself? Or in cases where people are actually being affected by one. Like there was one apartment I lived in where whatever it was that lived with me, we ended up naming it Ben. Before I lived with this thing, that's what I believed. I believed that it was just like a sort of an echo in time. Like you saw them, but they didn't interact with you. And if people said that they interacted with you, it's bullshit. And then I had one that was like constantly fucking with me.
Poltergeisty.
And poltergeisty would move my jewelry all the time. And then I moved to a new apartment and he followed me. And he started showing up there. And so yeah, like things like that, the more you learn about it and the more you read about it and the more you study it, the more your mind changes. I am of the belief that if your mind doesn't change like once every 2 years in regards to the paranormal,
what are we doing?
What are you doing? You're static. You're gonna drown. But anyways, Leanne, I fucking love her. I love the take on mediumship and psychic abilities as well, because again, like, I hate that I keep bringing it back to me, but this is why I love this movie, because it's in my
You're
world.
the perfect person. That's why we are having you on for this movie, please.
But I work with mediums, and the thing about them is that whatever images, words, insight they're receiving, they're also translating what they're receiving to you. So no matter what, no matter how talented this medium is, there's still a human element to it, and humans are flawed. And in this movie, you have no idea, and mediums have to be very careful about this if they aren't careless. You also have no idea if what you are telling someone is what influences them to get to the outcome.
It's like the Matrix.
Yes.
Like the Matrix, yeah. So you don't know that it could be when she went into the basement, it's because she really truly thought she heard Luann. Hello, that's a housewife.
Luann. Yes.
She really thought she heard Leanne down there, and she believed Leanne might go down there because she specifically had mentioned the basement during her pendulum session, because she really is saying, like, Leanne, is that you, when she's going down there? So if she had never mentioned the basement, it's possible Claire would have never thought she would be anywhere near the basement. Therefore, Claire would have not gone into the basement in the end.
It's the confirmation bias thing of, like,
Confirmation bias.
you planted the seed and it grew. And
Yeah.
I mean, and that happens, like, I've talked about it on an episode, on the Northman episode, but it's like, I try not to check my horoscope until the end of the day, because I know that it will affect how I think of things that day, you know, and then it might bring something into fruition that I never would have done, you know? So I think of it that as, like, if she hadn't even talked to her about it at all, would this have happened, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Because Luke didn't really have anything to say about the basement. It was really Leanne that brought the basement up.
Yeah.
In the first place.
Exactly. That's not one of the places that he pretended to have seen.
and then the bird was in there. It's like all of these things start to line up,
Yeah.
and in your head, if you've been given this story, you're gonna try to piece it together and make it make sense, and, like, think that that's where I have to ultimately go, if that's where, you know, everyone's telling me not to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so the weirdest thing, like, my question was, could Leanne have done anything to protect Claire? Does she have any responsibility in her death? And I was thinking, why didn't she just say, you're going to die in the basement?
I don't think she knew.
Don't
because-
go. But I think that I think my question still makes sense, just in a
absolutely.
much deeper way than I thought it did. That's so interesting.
Because, like she says, she has deja vu in the other direction, right? And then she says, like, it's never really, she doesn't know, like, circumstances are never clear, you know? So I imagine it's, like, kind of being shown a picture, but it's blurry, you know, and you have to try to make it make sense. And so she probably did not know that, like, that's the third ghost, that it was ultimately going to be her. I think maybe she realizes it the second when she goes into the basement
end,
and she gives her, that just gave me, like,
That's
a,
when she
a little
says,
creep down
"We
my
gotta go
spine.
right
That just
now."
creeped me out. Sorry. I hate that I have to be here alone tonight. But, like, that moment is, like, that's when I think she puts it together, and that's her final warning. And I'm sorry, but, like, she did what she could. Like,
This is on Claire.
Yeah, it is.
At this
like,
point, it's
I
on
think so
Claire.
too. Or it's just what was supposed to happen, you know?
And if you
it's
want to
just what
go
is
back,
supposed to
like,
happen.
even further, like you said, is like, I think if they had never met or had that conversation, she didn't choose to stay at this hotel. She didn't, like, again, like, it's all of these things that, like, that have to go in a row. You know what I mean?
Had
for them to
to.
happen. So it's,
Yeah.
sure. If Leanne maybe didn't bring up that she was a medium, and, like, maybe this could have all been avoided. But again, that's hindsight stuff. It's never, this isn't intentional pain or hurt that anyone is doing here. So, like, I can't really place blame on anyone when no one knew where this was going.
Yeah.
That's so okay. So I've been thinking a lot about Life of Chuck because we just covered it on the
Who
Losers
isn't?
Club, and I see it as exactly seriously, but I see it as kind of like a spiritual twinner to the monkey too, because they're both.
Yeah.
We're talking about random death. We're talking about the inevitability of death. The fact that knowing that you are going to die does not make your death easier, and it provides an illusion of control, but not actual control. And I think Leanne has enough maturity to understand that. She's like, I may have, so, like, I love how you said that. If I say the word basement, and I imagine mediums thinking through the ethics of saying exactly what it is they see, you know?
And understanding why they're seeing the thing that they're seeing, because it doesn't always click. I've had mediums who have said things like, what was the one I saw recently? I went to this little seminar, and this medium was trying to, I don't remember the whole thing, but they kept saying ladybugs, ladybugs, ladybugs. And they're like, I see a ladybug, I see a ladybug. And eventually the person that they were talking to realized that they were there to try and contact their dog that had passed. And the collar he always wore had, like in the summertime, had ladybugs on it.
So like even the person being told might have to search for what it means.
Yeah,
too.
to be, yeah. Which, if you're a skeptic, then you'll look at that and you'll say, like, well, they're just throwing, they're just like spaghetti. And it's like, my grandma likes spaghetti.
I'm thinking about like Late Night with the Devil when we talked about that psychic.
But then again, think of all of the things that have to go. Like I do this a lot with Mike. Is like a lot of times we'll be talking about something, about a certain movie or a certain word, whatever song, and then later that day it will come up again in some way that was, not just our phones listening, but in a way that was organic.
Yeah.
And I always think about the things that have to go in a row for that to have happened. Every decision that I have ever made in my entire life, and him, and all, like every conversation, it leads to those moments. So I always think of that. Like it's like you can say that you can be a skeptic. You can be a skeptic. You can say that if it's confirmation bias. But again, like all of these things have to happen in a line. What are the odds of that? What are
it
the
just depends on how you personally want to view it.
Yes.
And you personally want to have a relationship with it. Because some people don't want to have a relationship with synchronicities. They do not want to acknowledge synchronicities. But the more you acknowledge them and the more that you like pay attention to them, the more they appear. And they actually can be pretty cool.
And that's what I think actually being a witch and actually employing magic is. It's just aligning your intentions and it's channeling them, finding ways to amplify them, finding ways to empower yourself to, like, I think about two books that I kind of think like at face value are kind of bullshit, but they come from a philosophy that I do believe in. I think about The Secret and I think about the Celestine Prophecies, which are both about energy. And I just think that's like, I love the way she lays it all out. It's like we are just a piece of an organism. And like, if you think about the organs in your body, some of them are more powerful, some of them do more important jobs, and that changes as you age, they grow, they shift, and so we are all just
We're
kind
subject
of
to the universe. Like it's not really in our
Exactly.
control. I don't know. We talk about it a lot on Terminator 2 episode 2. Is like there is something oddly comforting in thinking that whatever will be will be. Que sera sera.
Yeah.
Like and
I don't believe that fate is one. Like, I don't believe that I was born with the date I was going to die in mind or the method. Like, I do think that I have some control over my fate.
But every single decision that you make will lead to it.
Right. And that is the thing that we don't have control over, because I just cannot contemplate every single decision right now that is going to lead me to my inevitable death. And I think what's really interesting about the seance is the way she asks the question and then Leanne is like, no, ask it again. Because I think she, like, at first, Claire is someone who thinks she wants to engage with synchronicity, but she doesn't understand what that means. And so by asking her to, open yourself up and ask what you actually want to know, that is what opens her up. And that is what makes her more susceptible to just the spirituality surrounding her inevitable death.
Yeah. Aligning your energy to, that's what a lot of people think, like manifestation is something where like, well, if you think you have a car, you'll have a car. And it's like,
if I put it on my
what you do is that like, if you align your energy to something, then every decision that you make is going to be for or against that thing. So if you are wanting to, say, buy a car, then every time an opportunity presents itself to save a little money, make a little extra money, enter your name into a competition where you win a car, like all of those decisions will, when presented to you, you will make the decision that leads you to, quote unquote, manifesting getting a new car.
it's work.
So
it's not just gonna happen.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you have to align your energy, your focus, your attention to that thing. And that's how manifestation eventually occurs.
Well, because we're talking about every decision that I make as an individual, but I'm surrounded by a world full of people who are also making individual decisions.
It all interacts and connects.
Exactly. And that to me is what, like, just as we're talking about this now, I'm like, well, maybe that's what fate is. It's that I exist in a world where I don't have control of everything, but I do have control of some things. And I think in that moment, Claire is kind of finding a way that she can control what it is she actually wants to know, which is what I think she really just wants to know is, like, are you real? Is this real? Are ghosts real? And it could be that she is sensing her inevitable demise, and she's like, I want to know that there's going to be something for me beyond this,
even though she doesn't know that that's what's about to happen. I also have to bring up, before we move on away from Leanne, is that Leanne's character seems to be a for sure definite nod to Kelly McGillis herself, because I think her exact words, her exact quote when she was asked why she didn't get cast in the Top Gun reboot was, I think we all know why I wasn't asked back.
Tom Cruise, I'm assuming.
Well, Kelly McGillis in Tom Cruise was a hottie bo body. She was much thinner. She was younger. Her skin was clear. Her hair was fantastic. And why didn't she get asked to do the sequel? Because she's just a normal lady now. She's not hot.
She's not Jennifer Connelly.
Not Jennifer Connelly. And she was honest about it. She was like, I think we all fucking know why I didn't get asked back. Like, do we even have to ask this question? And this is something that I really love about Ty West, because one, he works with a lot of actresses who could say the same thing. In the House of the Devil, we had Mary Warnoff, Dee Wallace, who Dee sort of blown up a little bit more, but at the time, she wasn't.
It helped her get back in it.
Yeah.
Well, and Barbara Crampton too.
And Barbara Crampton.
Although I know that,
and that reignited her. Like, yes,
slightly
but still,
different.
like they reignited the careers. I mean, Ty West is in your next, so
yeah,
true. Yes, he had a hand.
But then, of course, he has the X trilogy, which echoes some of the same themes of how disposable women are. We can hide their corpses in the fucking cellar, which is essentially what happens historically for women in Hollywood when they, not to bring up Amy Schumer again, when they reach their last fuckable day.
Last fuckable day.
And now they have to play a grandma at 47. So, like, he has this.
Or Colin Farrell's mom when you're like 5 years older than him.
So he has this recurring theme with women in his films. So,
like, we're
Ty
still
West
here.
fan.
We're still there.
We're still
here.
Exactly. And we still have a lot
And
to
you
offer.
can't
And
ignore
I think,
us, or we'll scare the shit out of you until you die of an asthma attack.
we sure will, because we know how you're going to die. And I think as much, I have a lot of critiques of Ryan Murphy.
Of course.
Even though he did give me Dr.
Me
Boat
too,
Doctor.
but I like
love
some
that.
of his shit too. Come on.
Right. But I love that about him too.
Jessica
that
Lange,
he really embraces a lot of older actresses, and is like, no,
Coven was the
still
best of
something
that.
here,
like everyone, it was so
I love
good.
Coven.
I love that one. It's, I mean,
to the point where sometimes I'm like, do we really need all of these women in
yes,
this
and that's
season?
how you
But I
know.
still love it.
If Jen's asking that, that's how you know.
I know. They just want to put you in something fabulous, and I'll eat it up every time. Well, let's ask, is this good for her horror? And is Madeline O'Malley a lady killer? And we've kind of been talking about whether she had intention here. I don't know if this feels good for her. No. I think it feels good. Like, it feels good. It feels good for the universe. And I think I'm coming in out of this conversation with a very different idea of this movie. But I don't, because I thought I would say Madeline is a lady killer, and I don't think I would anymore.
I think it's they're all victims of circumstance is kind of how I look at it.
Which is just life. That's another way of saying they're victims of being alive and not being alive
No one
anymore.
wins. It's all, I mean, I think if there's a killer, it's fate, I guess, kind of, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that, I really did not feel this watch, even before this discussion, that Madeline had intentions of killing her. Like, really, that's not the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, this is where I would like to read some of Randall's article.
Yeah.
I cannot stress enough how well written it is. It was for Consequence of Sound. It was titled "The Innkeepers Explores Millennial Depression." in which Randall suggests that the one thing Wes never explicitly tells us in The Innkeepers is that Claire is depressed, although the signs are there. When Leanne asks Claire if she's an aspiring performer, Claire is humiliated to say that she's not. She doesn't want to work in the hotel her whole life, and to have nothing else to look forward to makes her feel like, quote, an asshole. Plenty of people have these moments in their 20s. You've been to college or dropped out of it, only to emerge on the other side with an even less of an idea of what it is you want to do. That'd be depressing for anybody, but it's clear that Claire's feeling it that much more. Wes said he wanted Paxton's real-life vibrancy and goofiness to be reflected in her portrayal of Claire, and her performance is so impressive for precisely that reason. Because on paper, Claire is awkward, paranoid, and socially anxious. One thing you don't see in the film too often is how peppiness is often a mask for depression. Depressed adults are rarely sullen or withdrawn. More often, they're annoyingly present, trying far too hard to present a portrait of enjoyment. Depression is desperation. And Claire is desperate. Not for a new job, new friends, or a new life, but for justification. She wants justification that this job in this town at this moment in time is her destiny. And the only way she'll know that is to kill the boredom. Boredom lies at the root of so much depression. To be aimless is to be bored. To be bored is to be depressed. That's why there needs to be ghosts. Claire is excited when she first begins hearing whispers and witnessing paranormal activity. She takes Luke into the basement to try and commune with the spirit of Madeline O'Malley, but her excitement is offset by Luke's reluctance. We don't see what Claire sees, and Luke doesn't want to. He runs away. But is he running from the ghost or from Claire? And what does it mean when the ghosts finally turn on Claire, causing her to crack her skull when tumbling down the stairs? She locks herself in the room in the basement, but all she's done is trap herself with the wretched, rotting ghost of Madeline. And then she's dead. Maybe it's by Madeline's hand, or maybe it's from the cut on her skull, or maybe it's her asthma. That Luke reveals she had lost her inhaler says something, but Claire lost more than that. In bringing the ghost to life, she lost her grip. Depression is lonely, and depression will only make you lonelier. I watched people leave me when I struggled, and I've left others. There's a sadness to the Innkeepers in the end. Claire was so alone when she died, consumed entirely by the lies of her mind. Luke later reveals he was trying to save her, but by that point she'd already locked the door, both literally and figuratively. There's nothing anybody could have done. It's the film's final line, and I'm not sure how Wes wants us to feel about it. I'm not sure how I feel about it either. I guess I just hope she's wrong. And I just had I loved that article. I read it today, and I couldn't believe. I was like, I saw his name, and I was like, oh, I know him. I know that guy. But I thought that was such an interesting and just really introspective way to look at Claire. Is like, she does feel shame about what she's doing. I've been there. When I was working at Starbucks in my early 20s, and all my friends were like graduating from college, and I'm a high school dropout, and I had nothing to my name. Like, it was embarrassing. And so you look for things to give you, a reason to keep going, a meaning. And she doesn't have that. And she gets called out for it. You can see her stumbling over her words, that she doesn't have anything to say. Like, I used to hate when someone would be like, so what are you going to school for? And I had to be like, I'm not. Like, that happened to me. I had to lie when I worked at Starbucks. I didn't want people to know that I wasn't in school. So I lied and I said that I was in college, and I didn't know how units or credits worked. So someone asked me how many units or like credits I was taking that semester, and I said 100.
Oh my God.
Yes. So that is something I never lived down. I will never forget the look on that guy's face. He went, you mean just like in your entire college career, or like just this semester? And then he was like, how many?
You're like, bye.
I was like, and then he was like, what classes are you taking? And I said math and stats. And he was like, why would you be taking math and stats at the same time? It was one of the most horrific moments of my entire life. And so that like kind of like that feeling was brought to me as I read this article. Of like, you're trying to compensate for it. You're like, but hey, I'm actually doing this ghost hunting thing, so I have something going for me. Yeah.
Right.
So I really liked that take. And it does like lean more into the maybe it didn't happen thing. But either way you look at it, you can still look at this character as someone that was just really desperate for something to happen to her and to make her feel worthy and valid and valued, that she kind of ran away with it. So I like that.
Well, and I think, not to talk about tarot again, but like that's kind of like in some of my lowest moments, like I go to my tarot deck and I'm like, because I need to think about something outside of myself, connect to, and so even if it's all in her head, quote, like I still think she is making it happen. Like it still is real to her. Yeah. It's just a way for her to connect with a larger piece of the universe in her final days too. I love that. Well, Ashley, what do you think? Is Madeline a lady killer, and is this good for her heart?
No. But I think Madeline and Leanne really represent a part of all women that would like to be lady killers. Like the constant, the injustice of being forgotten or invisible that builds that quiet rage within us.
Yep.
And I think that, I don't think she intended to kill Claire. I don't think that Leanne intended to accidentally lead Claire directly to the place where she was going to die. But, shit happens, Claire.
Yeah. And if we're looking at it for the feminine rage thing and we are adhering to the thought that she wanted to be seen, it's like there's nothing more feminine rage inducing than feeling invisible,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whether it's because you've aged out of your hotness,
and now there's this new hot desk clerk at the hotel.
Someone has taken away your autonomy by taking your body away from its...
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't a ghost that you woke up to in the middle of the night. It was
I'm
an
fucking
intruder.
hoping I don't tonight. Like, I am, like,
Dude, you won't.
dreading.
I'm telling you, Lisa Vanderpump
we
is
still
gonna
have,
save
like, an hour and a half of sunlight, so I'm good. But I'm a little skeeved out. I'm a little creeped out.
Sammy's
texting Jen, like, someone talk to me, please.
Exactly. I have because we keep talking about spooky scary, I've had werewolf bar mitzvah.
I honestly, like, when you just said spooky scary, my brain just immediately went werewolf bar mitzvah. Yes, it is one of my favorite Halloween songs.
It's a banger, man.
Yeah.
I love
like
it
Monster
so
Mash
much.
can suck it, dude. Werewolf bar mitzvah takes the
exactly.
takes
It's
the
werewolf
crown.
bar mitzvah. Also, I always
Boys
say men
becoming
becoming
men.
boys,
Men
but
becoming
it's
wolves.
so funny. I love it so much. I would die for it. But would we die? Would we die for this movie?
Look at her. I would die for her. I would kill for her. Either way, what bliss.
Okay, Ashley, are you dying for the Innkeepers? And what are your final thoughts?
I would kill for the Innkeepers.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It
does,
does. Yeah. It does.
I get why people don't like this movie, especially on the first watch. What I urge people to do is rewatch it. If you still don't like it, that's fine. You can walk away.
Yeah.
But I do think that the themes align really well with Ty West's other works, and maybe The Innkeepers doesn't belong in the top 3, but I think it should be still in the conversation. It seems like the ugly stepchild of all of his movies for some reason.
I flip-flopped, man. Now The Sacrament's
it's
probably
like
my least favorite, so...
Yeah, this is like my number 1 or number 2. Like, I love this movie. So I do get I get pretty defensive about it when people are like, that movie sucks, it's so slow. And I'm like...
I know. I'm so glad that this flip flopped me. Like, I really I loved it. Like, I texted Jen because I had texted Jen before. I was like, I don't really like this movie, and then I was like, I really loved it. I was fucking scared last night. Like, I was doing the thing where I like go in my shirt like this, and that is not often, that I am doing that. And like a lot of people say this movie isn't scary. This movie's scary. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what you were watching.
Yeah.
It scared me.
Well, and it's visually scary, but it's also intellectually scary.
Maybe
too.
we're
And
just
it's one
really
of those
smart.
things to
That's
take
why we
in.
like
Maybe
it.
we're just too
Oh
smart.
my god, we're just like
We are
really
too
smart.
But it's one of those things that my pretentious thing. It's like it's horror. It's scarier if you apply rigor to it. If you like dive into the themes, and again, if you allow yourself to sink into its wavelength and just kind of
Match
sit there
its
and let it
energy.
do what it's trying to do. Exactly, match its energy. I would not have died for this movie before
neither.
this conversation. I would have really enjoyed it. Like I was telling Sammy, every time I watch this, I like it more.
Grows on you.
And I think my understanding of it, like to kind of go back to what the metaphor we were using earlier, my understanding before this conversation was kindergarten. And I feel like now I'm reaching more. I don't know if I've quite graduated yet. Like I might need to
get your
watch it
business
again with
degree
this
now.
in
We'll
mind.
give you a diploma. We're going to print a diploma to put on the wall that's like, I figured
Exactly.
out the Innkeepers.
Jen gets the Innkeepers.
Yes. And I think I'm gonna die for it. And it's a good vibe too. Like when you want something spooky, scary, like it fits the bill
Yeah.
too. And I think it works. Well, I just said this. It works on a visually scary level and an intellectually scary level. And it's also funny. Like I love the part where
Yes.
she's pretending to be a sheet ghost and then she falls over.
I love the scene where she's taking the trash out. Like it doesn't
Yes.
serve anything for
Dude,
it.
that
But I
is
was like, I've been there.
horrifying
Like,
too. I've gotten that trash
When
juice.
she's telling the scary story to the little boy who's like clearly terrified, and the
Yeah.
mom's like, "What is
Yes.
wrong with you? Why would you do that to my child?" And she's like, "All right, all
It's
right."
like she seems like mad that she's mad. Where I'm like, oh, come on, you had to have known that this bitch was gonna get mad at you about this.
That's true.
Exactly. Right. That's like, don't tell my kids
Yeah.
scary stories, and then because then I'm the one
And
who has
then
to deal with it.
tries
My
to
brother always jokes
gaslight the
about
little
that.
boy of like, I didn't say that. It's like, yes, you did.
Yes, you did. Well, Sammy,
I'm dying.
Would you die for this
I
movie?
have to die for Madeline O'Malley because she is
Madeline O'Malley.
a haunted mansion bride. Like
Truly,
I'm literally I have
Iconic.
3 different haunted mansion brides things next to me right now. Like that is the vibe for my wedding. And but if you had asked 16-year-old me back in 2011, I would have been like, this shit sucks ass. I hate it. I was like, when my sister would go to put it on, I'd be like, not this movie again. Like, and she loved it. And now I'm really excited to call her and be like, hey,
Guess.
I'm a reformed Innkeepers hater. So I'm really, really I'm really glad that I got this opportunity. I loved that you were on this episode, Ashley. Like we could not have had a
Thank
better
you.
guest.
Me too.
Like this was so up in your wheelhouse. And I wouldn't have wanted to do it
totally.
with anyone else. So
Aw,
I thank you
guys.
for, reforming me, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like we're all innkeepers
Yes.
now.
We are all innkeepers now. We've
Maybe
always
that's what
been
we'll call our
innkeepers.
Yes.
cabin. We've been innkeepers the whole time. Well, and on that note, let's wrap up with what's coming next.
Unlock the next configuration. And then the last. No. I've done enough. Enough is a myth.
Ashley, thank you so much for
Yes,
joining
thank
us.
you.
And Ashley is going to be back. We've
Hell
already
yeah,
found
brother.
Yes. It's because sometimes it just feels like this place. You've been there your whole life. It's like
We're not
home.
letting her
It's like
leave.
Home.
Exactly. She's
We're
appearing
locking her in
behind
the
us both of our
basement.
Come play with us.
Exactly. Where can we find you? I know you already told us about Keep It Weird, but where can we find you online?
Yes.
And what do you have coming up?
The best place to find me is at Keep It Weirdcast on social media, especially Instagram. Our show's on YouTube, youtube.com/Keep It Weird Podcast. We don't have anything major coming up, but we did just record this really creepy episode with some like super spooky stories in it. I actually covered the case of the Great Amherst Mystery, which is Canada's most famous poltergeist. It's one of the most well-documented cases of poltergeist activity in history, and fucking no one knows about it. So definitely tune in if you're craving some more creepy ghost stories, because we've got
Yes.
them.
I'm not gonna watch it tonight, but tonight I need something
bright
funny.
sun
Yeah.
Well, and Sammy, where can listeners find you?
As always, you guys can find me at SRK Doll on Letterboxd, on Twitter, on Instagram, and then running the socials. You guys have been leaving really sweet messages as of late and comments, and it's been really fun interacting with you all.
Yes.
I've had a lot of suggestions come in, and I can't wait to get to some of those.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sweet. And you can find me at Jim Ferratu on social places. You can find me coaching the Losers Club podcast, where the Losers Club podcast.
I feel like I'm in like a
can't
little
say
Losers
it.
Club sandwich today.
You are.
The meat.
You're a jelly.
Yeah,
Or
or
the meat.
A jelly.
Meat jelly.
You're the meat jelly. You're the spam.
Yes. You know what? Nope. That checks out. I am the spam.
Checks out. We just talked about Life of Chuck, and then we are going to be talking about The Stand coming up.
Summer of
which,
Stand.
well, we're already in
Summer of
Stand.
Spam.
Fucking love it.
Summer of spam.
Summer of Spam too, yeah. Rachel and I on The Girls on the Boys are talking about Banshee and Jack Quaid's never-ending stream of movies that we love. And then I talked about Dr. Death and Dr. Boat Doctor. We've been talking about both of those a lot on Murder Made Fiction. We also did a whole series on American Horror Story Hotel So check that out, connecting to Lady Bathory or Elizabeth Bathory. So, lots of fun stuff there. And I definitely talk about Pacey quite a bit because he's so dreamy. If you want to follow the show, you can do that on Twitter at The Lady K Pod and on Instagram and Blue Sky at The Lady Killers Pod. And that's it for our episode on the Innkeepers. And I'm just going to slam the door or ring the bell because
just
that's
like
the classy
hardly
way to
there
haunt.
silhouette of all of our
Exactly.
bodies
Just
in the
barely
background that you
Yeah,
have to
you just have to keep
pause
looking.
and go
You
back
have-
and look for.
It's up
Find
to
a
you.
gift.
Maybe
Yes.
the ghost was in your mind the whole time.
Yeah. Maybe it's the ghost friends we made along the way,
It is. What a long, strange trip it's
Yes.
been with our ghost friends at the peddler, Yankee Peddler. Thank you so much to our esteemed panel and to our ghost friend listeners. Thank you for joining us. If you like this episode, please give us a quick rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps people find the pod, and it makes us so good. And we are going to be back next week with a brand new watch for Sammy and I. We are going back to the 80s with curtains. I've heard there is figure
I've
skating.
never even heard of
in
it. Oh,
this.
figure skating. Oh, as an Ice Princess
Yep.
fan, I'm
I
here
know.
for it.
Oh, cutting edge for me, but I'm down.
Yeah,
either
I
way.
Tanya too. But
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh.
I love me
absolutely.
some ice skating. I suck at it, but I like watching
do
it.
Too. Yeah, it hurts, but I cinematically enjoy
So
it.
does life.
But until then, exactly. But until then, remember, ladies and ladies, support women's rights, support women's wrongs, and
When a psychic medium tells you to stay out of the basement, you stay out of the freaking basement.
Here, here.